Knicks fans, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Simeon Russell. The New York Knicks are back with the youth movement winning Orlando. Let's get this poppin'. What's going on, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action. Pace, Siobhan, Shamik, Famos, Ethan. I think Ethan, and you might be new. I haven't seen you before. But that's what's up. Glad you're here. Famos, Marty, Lily, everybody. What's popping with you? We back in action. Long break. You know, I couldn't wait to get back on. Couldn't wait to watch the team again. Couldn't wait to watch the Knicks again. But we back and got a nice little win with the youth movement. You know what I'm saying? And I'm satisfied with that. You know, I didn't like the way the first quarter went. You know, we almost gave up 40 points in the first quarter. But or maybe we did. I don't know. Maybe we did give up 40 points in the first quarter. But I'm cool with the game, with the way the game went. You know, I'm cool with it. We played the kids, especially at the point guard position, and we won the game. I'm all right with that. And if we would have lost, I would have been all right with it. If we would have lost, if we would have continued to play defensively the way we played in the first quarter, I'd have been upset. But we picked it up. We picked it up in the second half and pulled out the win. So I'm cool with that. I like that. You know, and hopefully we can continue to play this way for the rest of the season. The only thing I'm looking for the guys to do is play hard. If we're gonna play the youth, let's play hard. You know what I'm saying? Play hard defensively. Try to play together offensively. And see what goes on. See what happens. You know, we'll take it from there. But I like what I seen tonight. As far as from the aspect of playing the kids. Satisfied with that. You know, Jack got no minutes at all, of course. None. Zero. Zilch. And we'll check out the minutes rundown of our point guards. You know, but before we get to that, let's just talk about the game in and of itself. You know, talk about the game. And before I do that, Marty, you say sit Burks down. See, this is what I'm talking about. Right? When you're tanking, people who want to tank, they sit down players that are doing well and help spur you to a win. Just because you play young guys doesn't mean you're tanking. You know what I'm saying? Let Burke play. I mean, that's just the way it is for me. You know what I'm saying? Let Burke play. If he's playing and he's playing well, if he gets us a few wins, I'm cool with it. I don't care. But you know, some people, if a player is playing well and they want to tank, oh Marty, you say you're joking. Okay. That's what but Marty, some people are that way. Maybe you're joking, but some people are that way. Some people will say, if Trey Burke is playing, they'll say, sit Trey Burke down. If he's playing well, they'll say, sit Trey Burke down because we're in the tank. We don't want him to help us win. Right? That's the difference between tanking and playing the young guys to develop them. You know what I mean? I'm cool with what happened tonight. I know there's going to be some people that say, oh, you know, we can't even tank right. I already know that's coming. You know, if we get a couple of wins, we can't even tank right. That's craziness. That's craziness to me. It's wild. You know, and there's been some talk about it, of course. And we'll talk about it a little bit. When we get to the youth movement, we're going to talk a little bit about tanking and exactly what it means. And if it really works. We'll talk about it. Because I got my ideas on it. I'm sure you guys got your ideas on it. But let's talk about, let's take a quick overlook of the game. Talk about what went on during the game. And then we'll get back to tanking. Oh, wrong button. There we go. So let's look at the minutes distribution. All right, much more in the likes of what we would like to see. Siobhan Robinson, you say this was the best game Jack had as a Knick. Ha ha, real funny. Funny. I feel you though. I see what you're saying. I feel you. So minutes distribution. Let's check it out. Emmanuel Mudiay had 22 minutes. 22 minutes. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. I seen Emmanuel say, that Mudiay is another Frank. We'll see. I think offensively he's a little more developed than Frank. I think. But he's got some development to do, and we'll see if we can help develop him. I don't know. He's got to look to score. He's got to finish. He's got to look. He's got to learn how to finish. That's the one thing about Mudiay. He doesn't finish inside well. And that was when he came. That's what people talked about. That. People talked about him not being able to finish his layups. And he has an okay mid range. But I guess he's got to learn how to finish. Lance Thomas 25 minutes, but let's look at the point guards. Frank Ntilikina had 29 minutes. Trey Burke 29 minutes, and of course Trey Burke went to work tonight. Offensively, he played well defensively as well. Trey Burke 26 points, 54.5% from the field, 40% from 3, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, only 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block. Nice night. Real nice night for Trey Burke. Frank, 29 minutes. He had 7 points. He was 2 for 6 from the field. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Listen. Besides, people say, I've seen a couple people say, Frank, he only had 7 points or whatever it was. This is Frank Ntilikina's game. We might as well get used to it. His scoring average is going to go up as he gets a little older. He's not going to be a 20-point per game guy. That's just it. Maybe he gets to 10, 12 points a game. But Frank is not that kind of guy. Frank is going to be 10 points, 12 points, 8 to 10 assists, 4 to 5 rebounds. That's what Frank is going to be. I'm cool with that. If you look at the plus minus, and I'm not a big plus minus guy, but if I'll be a plus minus when it's going in my favor. But if you look at the plus minus, Trey Burke had the best plus minus on the floor at 15. Frank was tied with Kylo Quinn at the second best plus minus with 9. So obviously lineups with Frank in it were going well because of what he does defensively. That's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going crazy over the fact that he only scores 7 points, or if he only scores 4 points. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going crazy over that. Yeah, man, I wasn't talking to you, man. I was talking to somebody else. Somebody else that I seen said something about Frank. Frank only scoring so many points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with Frank, this is what he is. We just got to, this is what he is. And, people are going to have to fall into it and understand this is the kind of player that Frank is. Frank is an all-around kind of guy. You see, he can fill up the stat sheet, right? He can do so many things in so many different areas. If we base it on just scoring, then your whole premise of basketball is wrong. I'll say that. If you're going to base everything on the fact that he only averages 5 points a game as a 19-year-old kid in the NBA, then your whole premise of basketball is wrong. And if you don't like that, I just said that, then I'm probably talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Because basketball is way more. Hey, the shot, honestly, yeah, the shot, you count the score, but so many other things happen in a basketball game that lead to the shot You've got to be aware of that. And if you don't know that, then you're not a basketball aficionado. If you don't know that, so many things lead to a shot. Good passing, good passing, screens. Movement off the ball, movement on the ball, good defense. Being able to handle ball. So many other things go into a basketball game, but so many people want to focus on the scoring. Frank does multiple things on the floor. He's. I like what Frank does. Let's just put it like that. I like what Frank does. Frank defense was A1 tonight. I agree with you, Brooklyn. Defense was A1 tonight. 2 blocks, 1 steal. Played good defense. But back to the minutes distribution. And then, of course, you're seeing Jared Jack had 0. No minutes at all tonight. And I'm going to give it up to Jared Jack. You know what I'm saying? Because he could be causing a fuss. He could be upset and saying, waive me so I can go play for whoever. You know what I mean? He could say that. But he's not. He's accepting his role like a professional does. And he's participating with the team by saying, okay, I'm not going to be on the floor, but I'm going to help mentor these guys. I'm going to help teach these guys. You know what I mean? And that's good. I got to respect Jared Jack for that. Got to respect him for that. Because he could easily complain, but instead he's being a professional. He's being a teacher. He's being a leader. He's being a mentor. And when these guys develop, either all 3 of these guys, they develop into whatever they're going to be. And I believe that all 3 of these guys, hopefully Trey Burke, I'm going to say hopefully Trey Burke. If Trey Burke gets a fair shake someplace, if it's not in New York someplace, but all 3 of these guys will be NBA players and hopefully very, very successful. And if they are, Jared Jack will have a lot to do with it. He'll be instrumental. He was instrumental with Steph Curry. He was instrumental with Kyrie Irving. He'll be instrumental with these guys here. So, big up to Jack. Big up to Jack for that. You see, Mike Beasley had 22 minutes, 7 points. Didn't play well tonight. Cantor, 21 minutes, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Courtney Lee, 14 minutes. You see, his minutes took a big cut. 10 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. And that's another guy that we want to give a big shout out to, Courtney Lee, for being professional. He could also be complaining. Courtney Lee is 32 years old or whatever it is. He's at the point of his career where I'm sure he wants to be on a playoff team. And possibly contend for a championship or whatever it is. But he's being professional as well. So big shout out to Courtney Lee as well. Then Kylo Quinn, 18 minutes, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Lance Thomas, 25 minutes. He had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Big steal at the end of the game to kind of seal that game away. And you need those vets on the floor to help young guys learn how to win, because you've seen at the end of the game, and it's been happening all season, but not always with the young guys in the game. It's been happening all season with the vets in the game. But tonight, at the end of the game, when you had Trey Burke and you had Frank in the game, you see they almost gave it away at the end. I'm not going to say almost, in the fact that we missed some free throws and we gave Orlando a chance. But that's where some of them older guys, they help the young guys learn how to win in situations like that. And Lance Thomas was able to come up with a big steal to put the game away. So big shout to Lance Thomas for that. And I know I see it already. Some people, get Lance Thomas out of here and stuff like that. Somebody's got to play, and sometimes you got, like Mike Breen said And Clyde Frazier said, you got to have some guys out there that help the young guys along during the game. You got to have them out there a little bit, help these guys along. Luke Cornett and Damian Dotson only played 7 minutes, so I definitely want to see more minutes from Damian Dotson. You know what I mean? I want to see more minutes from him. He's an athlete. We talk about athletes not having athletes on the floor. He's an athlete. And I think if you give him minutes, you got to give him minutes and give him some time to get out there and get comfortable in the NBA, playing in the NBA game. He played in the G League, but the competition level is so low, he can easily go in there and dominate. He has an NBA body. He has an NBA skill set. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. And I think Damian Dotson will be successful in this league. And I hope that is with the Knicks. I'm not saying he's going to be some star, but I think he'll be a really, really good role player one day. And I think hopefully he gets some more minutes. Part of the problem is you got Michael Beasley. You got Courtney Lee and you got Tim Hardaway, and then you're moving Frank over to the 2 sometimes. There's kind of a log jam there at that 2 and 3 spot. Kind of a log jam there. And that's hurting Damian Dotson right now, that log jam. Now, you're playing Courtney Lee. It's kind of like Courtney Lee. Well, Courtney Lee usually plays 30-some minutes. It's kind of like Frank took some of those shooting guard minutes. Damian Dotson took some of those shooting guard minutes. And so Courtney Lee's minutes went down. Courtney Lee's minutes might have to go down a little bit more. I don't know. If we're going to get Damian Dotson some burn. Or Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway played 34 minutes more than everybody else on the floor. He can lose some minutes. He can afford to go down to 27 minutes and let Damian Dotson play 14 minutes a game. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. I want to see Damian Dotson on the floor. I want to see him play. Looking at the rest of the game, checking out the matchup of the game, we gave up 41 points in that first quarter. We got better defensively from there. And so maybe it was the break. I don't know. We've had games like this before. Recently we've been giving up 112, 113 points a game anyway. Well, we gave up 41 points in that first quarter, 28 in the second. It's when we started playing well, coming back. Gave up 21 in the third, gave up 23rd in the fourth. So we got better as the game went on. We scored 31, 32, 30, and 27. A good scoring night. All right. And part of it, I'm going to say, even though Moutier didn't bring the type of game that we're hoping he'll bring one day. Part of it, he set the tone with some, he's able to penetrate and get in that paint. And he can do it early in the game. He can do it early. And then, of course, Trey Burke came in and, he lit it up. He was hot. But I think, that 120 points, how many assists did we have? We had 28 assists. We gave up 28 assists. But, that comes from having, point guards that can move the ball. And Moutier, Trey Burke getting in the paint. 47 rebounds tonight. 28 assists, 7 steals, 12 blocks. Frank had 2 of them. 8 turnovers. We've been taking care of the ball. We've been taking care of the ball a little bit better. We shot 48% from the field. 28% from 3. Still didn't shoot too well from 3. 81% from the free throw line. Overall, we played a decent game. I'm satisfied with what we did. Satisfied with what we did tonight. But let's talk about this point guard threesome we got going on with the young guys. We got Trey Burke. We got Frank Ntilikina. We got Emmanuel Moutier. Tonight, Emmanuel Moutier started. Is he Do you think he's going to be the permanent starter for the rest of the season? We got 22 games left. Will Moutier be the permanent starter, or will Frank get that chance? I really wanted Frank to get that chance. I think he deserved the chance. He's been on the team since the beginning of the season. Emmanuel Moutier just got here, right? He has 2 practices under his belt. If you're talking about, we heard him talk about culture and guys got to earn their spots and all those type of things. I think that Frank should have started because he's been here. He earned that. He earned the right. He should have started over Moutier, in my opinion. He's better defensively, like Emmanuel C is saying. He's better defensively. Right now, like Emmanuel is saying, offensively, besides the fact that Moutier can get to the basket a little bit better, or I'll say this, has the mindset to get to the basket a little bit better, than a little bit more than Frank does. I think Frank has the ability to get to the basket. He just his mindset just isn't. He doesn't have that attacking type of mindset or style of play. I'm going to say that that's maybe the difference in the reason why Moutier started over Frank. But I think Frank should start it. If you want to develop him as a guard, as the point guard, you got to give him the chance. He didn't play much point guard tonight at all, if you think about it. A few times he came up with the ball and ran the offense, but for the most part, it was either Moutier or Trey Burke running the point guard spot. I think Frank basically played off the ball most of the night. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, John Burnett. I don't mind Frank at the 2. I don't mind him at the 2 at all. But I think he needs to get some run at the point guard spot as well. So we'll see how it goes. We got games left. And I think Jeff alluded to the fact that some games maybe he'll play Moutier, he'll start Moutier, maybe he'll start Frank, maybe he'll start Trey. So let's see what happens. It's game 1 of the last 23. So let's see how it goes from there. Now, I just seen somebody say that, Frank's not the guy moving forward. How do you know? How do you know? He's 19 years old. He's been in the NBA for, let me see, the league started in October. He's been in the NBA since October. October, November, December, January, February. He's been in the NBA for 5 months. How do you know? You don't. I want to give a big shout out to Jersey Shore for the super chat. I didn't get a chance to say it earlier, but big shout out to Jersey Shore. But when you look at Frank, man, Frank shows the ability. He shows the ability in the 4th quarter when the shot clock was running down. It was like 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And Frank had no choice but to go to the basket. And you've seen the way he could go to the basket. He threw a little shake and then he went. You know what I'm saying? He can do it. When he makes his mind up to do it, he can go to the basket. And he can penetrate to the lane. He's just got to make up his mind to do it. Shamik, you say, Frank, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. You say Frank more off the ball till his handle improves. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, but I think you still got to give him some run at the point guard spot. And a lot of times, though, it's not always his handle. He turns the ball over. I think he averages about 3 turnovers a game. He turns the ball over. A lot of times it's off of lazy passes. It's not always off of somebody stealing the ball from him. It's happened a couple times this year. It's happened, but more than not, it's from lazy passes. And a rookie in the NBA, that's going to happen. because you're used to playing at one speed, and you got to get used to a new speed, and throwing them lazy passes out there. What looks lazy to us, to him, it may not feel as lazy, but in the NBA, when you're playing against guys who are stronger and faster, that's going to be a lazy pass, and he's got to get used to it. But I get what you're saying, though. I get it. You play him off the ball. Hopefully that playing him off the ball a little bit, his mindset to go to the basket to score, maybe he gets a little bit more into that mindset. We'll see. But he'll be okay. I think he'll be just fine. It's going to take him some time. His offense will come. You can look at his body structure. You can look at him on the floor when he decides to go to the basket. That it's not like his shot is broken. And it's not like he doesn't really have touch. There's some guys who just don't have touch. He actually has some touch. It's just going to take him a little bit of time to develop it. That's all. Frank will be traded this offseason. I doubt it. I seriously doubt that. Famous, you say those lazy passes and him kicking it out as soon as he drives is what annoys me about Frank. Definitely needs to work on that. I agree. He's got to work on those lazy passes. And I don't even think that Frank knows how good he can be, because he gets into the lane and he has a little pull-up jump shot. I mean, it's there for him. That's what I mean. When I say he has it, it's there for him. He penetrates and he gets to his spots. He gets the spots on the floor. And it's there for him to take. He doesn't do it because he's in such a mindset to look for somebody else, to get somebody else involved. And he hasn't balanced the two yet. Right? When he balances the two to where, he can understand when to pull it up, when to kick it out, that's when you're going to see, you'll see his scoring average pick up. But he gets there. And really, he gets there without a problem. He gets to his spots on the floor. He gets to good shooting spots on the floor without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see if he develops, and changes his mindset. That's going to be the key, to change his mindset. And I'm not saying change his mindset to be a shoot first point guard. I'm saying change his mindset so that it's more balanced. So when he gets in that lane, he's not just thinking about passing it out. He takes it when it's there because he can go get it. I mean, he can get there. He can get there, So we just got to see how he develops. Simon, I didn't say he didn't know how good he is. I said he doesn't know. I don't think he knows how good he could be. There's a difference. There's a difference because he's 19 years old. And some people do not understand how good they could be, especially that age. They do not understand how good they could be in the future. And it takes a coach, it takes a mentor to help them to realize their own potential. So yes, I did say he does not know how good he could be. I didn't say he doesn't know how good he is. I said he doesn't know how good he could be. Because it takes, when you have a child, which is what Frank is, and there's other children in the NBA, but when you have a child, it takes an adult to help them to develop. Right? It takes an adult to help them to realize their potential. Famous, you say, what do you think about the Knicks almost trading for Monk? I don't know. I think if the Knicks would have traded for Monk, they probably wouldn't have traded for Moutier, most likely. I think that they're trying to stockpile assets. Stockpile young assets. And people will say, why are they collecting so many guards? And here's my philosophy, or I don't want to say my philosophy. Here's my reason, or why I believe they're trying to collect so many guards. Because it's a guard-driven league, right? And if you're going to collect assets, you probably want to collect wing players. You know what I mean? You're gonna want to collect wing players because that's what's going to be needed in the future. Teams are going to need guards. Teams are going to need guards that can play defense. Teams are going to need long guards. Teams are going to need wings. You know what I mean? And so if you collect wings and you're stockpiling assets and you're collecting those wing players that you know teams are going to need, you're going to have some flexibility in the future. You know what I mean? So, Malik Monk, I mean, who knows? It could be that he comes to the Knicks at some point, maybe. I mean, with the amount of guards we have now, maybe not. You know, the fact that we got Moutier, but I think that they were just looking to stockpile assets. You know, bring in young guards because they know young guards are going to be in demand in the future. So that's what I think about that, about them almost trading for Monk. And he does fit some of the things that Hornacek likes to do, as far as playing that up tempo type of game. He's not getting much burn because of his defense. And he's not getting much burn on a team that's not even really that good. But also he's a rookie, so we'll see. BN, you say, why did we win this game? Because that's what we step on the floor to do, man. I know you're all about the tank, but see, that's my issue with the tank, right? I know you kept on saying before we went to break that I finally bought into the tank. I never bought into tanking. Never. Right? Never bought into tanking. I bought into the youth movement. I was always into the youth movement. Always. Never bought into tanking, though. And there's a difference between the two. So we might as well get to it. And what I'm going to do, though, because we got a call. And, of course, it's my man who's Mark on the line. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so I'm going to open up the line. Hey, Mark, what's popping, bro?
Yo, man, I miss everybody. Yo, I miss you, Simeon. What up, man?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm all right, dog. How was your weekend?
It was nice. It was cool. We had some good weather. I've been out fundraising all weekend, though. But it was good. Hey, you want to turn that down in the back?
Yeah, I'm about to do that right now. All right.
Hey, BN, when Mark gets on the line, I'm gonna talk to you, man. He said I'm bugging. But what's going on? How you feel about the game, man?
Listen, I got three things that I love from tonight. Number one, my man Jared Jack with 0 minutes. That's one.
Right.
That's one. Frank's defense. That's two. And three, I like when Hornacek, he coached tonight. That's how you coach a young team. Just from a coaching aspect, what I saw tonight. When they did dumb shit, he called that timeout every time. Y'all did not see that in the second half. Every time they did some dumb shit.
Watch the language, man. Watch the language.
Bad. He called timeout. And then that's when they started to play hard. I like the effort tonight.
And it's easier to do that when you're coaching young guys. Like, if you don't have the reputation, if you're not Greg Popovich or one of them type of guys, it's a little harder to do it when you're coaching older players.
Yeah, but that's what
when you coach young guys.
As men, we will respect that because we're doing dumb shit. It's a dumb thing. It's like a kid. If he continue to keep doing the thing and his mother don't scold him, he's going to continue to keep doing it.
Right.
So when he does that, they're going to listen. Eventually, they're going to listen. They're just going to listen because it's going to get drilled in their head. And another thing, I like Moutier, but I don't want him to start. You see, Frank, what bothers me, it needs to be drilled. Like for him to do his thing, he has to continue to get drilled. I mean, he has to have that ball in his hand every possession like he wants it because he can get into the lane anytime he wants. If y'all don't see that, it makes me mad because I'm watching this guy. He can get anywhere on the floor gracefully. Gracefully. But it's like he's almost doing that LeBron James thing where he just shies away from the ball. He's not a good spot up shooter yet, but his shot is fluent. But it's more of a confidence thing. But he has to stop because he has to get that repetition to know that, hey, take the ball and get into the paint every time you have the ball. I like Moutier, but he is going to be a bench point guard. He ain't going to get no better. It's just, you could just see it. Frank is just different because it reminds me like when Brandon Roy used to play. Brandon Roy was able to do anything he wanted because the way how he paces himself. It's like Bradley Beal. He paces himself. So when you have that change of pace in the game, it makes the defense worry. If y'all watch how he could get into the paint, but he just don't go all the way. It's just like go. So he has to start. The reason why he's starting Moutier because he has a little trust in him. But you have to start Frank. I don't care what nobody say. You start him because he has the dribbling ability because he pulls it out sometimes. Remind me of Chris Paul. Because when Chris Paul really want to dribble, he can dribble with the best. He can get anywhere on the floor. So he needs the ball in his hand. He needs it because he commands the offense. If y'all don't watch it, he commands the offense well. But he needs to know, listen, you the point guard. This is a point guard league also. You can score. Sometimes stop when you do get the lane, he looks for the pass. Don't. Just keep going because he's able to get fouled because he's big enough. Yep. He's 6'5", he's big enough. He's going to get contact. He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Yep.
He's going to get it. He has these. It's like, okay, when people say, yeah, his confidence has to build, but Hornacek has to make him stop because his confidence ain't there. I know, guys, his confidence ain't there, but the things that he does, it bursts in. You see it. It's like Giannis. It's like Giannis when he first started. You seen flashes. With those European players, they show you flashes. That's what KP did his first year. He showed you that he was tough, that he was able to block shot. Then it was just gradually, he's going to keep coming on. That's the thing with European players. They take a while to adjust to American sport because it is 10 times faster than the way they play. And they play more finesse, and they play more of an Oriented a team game. They play team games. Y'all watch European ball? It's more team.
Right.
It's more team. NBA is more. No matter how much they pass the ball, you have to have the best player to ISO. Basketball is really. The NBA is a lot about ISO most of the time, most of the possessions. If y'all watch the game, because if y'all watch LeBron James, LeBron James go ISO every time, but he passes the ball, but he goes ISO every time because the offense start with him.
Right. And if you look here, I'm about to show this clip. If you look on this clip here, right, the shot clock came down to 6 seconds. Frank had no choice but to go for it. And he gets to exactly where he wants to get on the floor, and then he gets fouled. Just check him out. Real easy.
What makes me happy about him, he has the body. So
wrong play. I had to find it. That's the wrong play.
He has the body. So just imagine in a 2-3 year span when he really get that NBA training. Look at KP. He's really big. If y'all see him in person, he's really big compared to his first and second year. It's just like with Anthony Davis. It took him 4 years to actually get that NBA, 5 years to actually get that NBA body.
Right.
It took Giannis 4 years to get that NBA body.
Right.
It takes a while for these NBA players to get their body.
And when you look at Frank, he already has wide shoulders. You know he's got a lot to fill out.
His defense makes me so happy because the way he moves his feet. You gotta understand something. When you move your feet like that as a guard, oh my God, it disrupts offenses. It does. It does. So wait till the Knicks get these wing players, and that one that we just got off waivers, he can shoot the ball.
Troy Williams.
Yeah, he can, and he looked like an athlete.
Yeah. So hey Mark, I know we got some people that's gonna call in, but just wrap up with this. What do you think about? Because I'm gonna move into this youth movement thing. Talk about the youth movement a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think about the young guys that we have right now?
All right. I'm gonna let you know.
What do you think about it?
You see, the thing that we saw from Trey Burke tonight, that ain't gonna happen every night because listen, there's other guards that's gonna wear him out. Yeah. He's going against DJ Augustine and all that. Trey Burke is a small body. Mm-hmm. You could see in the game him playing 30 minutes. He was huffing and puffing out there.
Yeah, he had one thing I don't like.
One thing I don't like about him, because we have players that cut and stuff like that. He takes too long to get rid of the ball. Like a lot of those possessions, even at the end, those are the possessions you use to move the ball. He's not a move the ball guard. He's not a movable guard. And when you have players like, the thing is, when you have KP could play off the ball. He's more of a, you need to, when you play with players like KP, he needs guards that can know how to pass the entry pass and that also moves the ball. KP ain't an American player. He's a Euro player. That's why Kobe liked the Pau Gasol. He was soft the first year he got there, but Kobe toughened him up because Powell passes the ball and they play with a high IQ of the game. A high IQ of the game. The thing was with KP this year is he came into a new role that he was forced into. But naturally, when you watch him overseas in the summertime, he was doing a lot of passing around to the players. But like I said, with the youth, I could roll with the youth. Right now. What I'm thinking right now, just collect assets. Whatever wings you can get, whatever guard you can get, collect that shit. Because what people don't realize, if Kawhi Leonard's going to get traded next year, guess who might get him? Boston. Because you know why? They did was collect assets. And all they're going to do is throw Tatum or Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart at San Antonio.
We'll see.
And he's going to get Kawhi. They might get Kawhi and picks. You got to collect assets. When you look at the game, you got to collect assets. Because at the end of the day, when you can get that star, you go get him. Because you don't find Kawhi Leonard, no Kyrie Irving. I wish we kind of pull the trigger on Kyrie because I'm kind of regretting. When there's stars out there like that, you go and get them.
All right, hey Mark, I'm gonna let you ride.
Yeah, yo.
All right.
Yo, chat.
All right, man. Peace. All right. So, talk about the youth movement. I'm gonna get into another call in a minute. We got some people calling in. I'm gonna get into another call in a minute. But talk about the youth movement. We got some young guys out here now, right? And I want to talk about the youth movement versus the tank. All right? I'm going to get to another call in a minute, guys. All right, I'm going to talk about the youth movement versus the tank. All right? We got young guys. We got Frank. We got Moutier. We got Trey Burke. We got this new guy, Troy Williams. We got Dotson. We got Cornet. We got some young guys to play. I want to play them. We talked about that earlier, right? I want to play them, experiment, see what we can, see how we can put guys together, put lineups together, see what guys can do. This is the point. This is where we do it, right? But I don't think that means that you force yourself to lose either. You do it and you try to win while you're doing it. And listen, honestly, it's more than likely you're going to lose anyway when you're trying to experiment that way, because it's like preseason, but you've got to prepare as if you want to win. The guys have to train as if they want to win, right? You've got to do everything in your power to win while playing the young guys. Because Marty, when you said sit Trey Burke down, I know you were joking, but the truth of the matter is there's some people who feel that exact same way. They feel, oh, he's doing well, sit him down. And that's not how you do it. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's how you do it. So there's a clear difference between having a youth movement and having a tank. So BN, I'm gonna get back to you, man, because you said I'm bugging. I'm not bugging. I'm not bugging. You know, there's a big difference between a youth movement and a tank. You know, a youth movement just means that you're playing young guys and you're trying to bring in young guys and you want to develop young guys. But with those young guys, you still try to win games. And you try to win as many games as possible, right? But when you're in a tank, you know, when you're in a tank, that means you are trying to lose. And there's a difference between playing young guys and trying to lose. When you're tanking, that means you're losing at all costs, right? You're probably not preparing to try to win the game. You're not strategizing to try to win the game. You are, you know, if you got a guy like Trey Burke played well tonight, you might sit him down, right? Because you say, oh, he's hot, let's sit him down. We don't want to win the game. That's not the way you go about it. You know, and maybe, you might just be joking. Some other people might be joking. But there's some people that are serious about that. And I just don't think that's the way you go about it. You know, if you're going to play the young guys, that's good. That's great. That's what we want to do. You know, we want to have this youth movement where we're teaching the young guys how to play ball. You know, and we're mixing them in with some of the vets so that the vets are helping them to learn. But you don't just go out and just throw games. And that's a big difference. You know, there was a controversy. Mark Cuban got fined. Right, he got fined the last couple of days or whenever it was, you know, for admitting that they were not throwing games, but they were losing on purpose, or that he told his team, you know, the best thing to do right now is to lose. So he got fined $500,000. That's just a drop in the bucket for Mark Cuban, but still, you know, he got fined because that's not the, you know, that's not what the NBA wants to promote. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's my take on the difference between having a youth movement and tanking. Yeah. All right. So what's popping, man? I see you on the line.
Yo, what's good? What's good, chat?
What's up, Emmanuel? How you feeling? How was your we had a little bit of time off from the NBA. How was your little break from the NBA, man?
Man, I was getting an itch, man. I was scratching like a crackhead on the corner.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I couldn't wait to get back on. Hold on 1 second. All right. I know I'm going to get something other than this Skype at some point, but this is what I'm working with right now. This is what I'm working with. All right, man. So what's going on?
Not much. I wanted to hit on Frank real quick.
All right.
Your boy, like, y'all was saying, throw Frank in the fire. I don't believe we should throw Frank in the fire just yet. I think we're doing the right thing by throwing him out there with somebody so he could, let him get his spots in, because right now, let him work over that over the summer. But right now, what he needs to do is be out there with somebody and learn and adjust to the way that things are being run, because the European game is slower than the U.S. game, and you hit on that. You was like, the timing. Mm-hmm. His timing is still not there. You gotta, those passes that you said were lazy passes, the thing that was going on with Frank is out there thinking way too much. He thinks too much when he comes in, you know how they was telling him in the beginning of the season, he has to drive and then kick out. What he does is he drives. When they come in and they stop him, he freezes up instead of driving and kicking out all fluently. Uh-huh. So it's a timing issue with Frank. It's a mental issue with Frank. So what you need to do is you need to have him out there with somebody. And since the two other young guards, they aren't good defensively, Frank covers for them as well. So it's a win-win for both situations. You get what I'm saying?
I got you. I'm with that. So
as Frank is out there learning to how to play the U.S. game, mm-hmm. and moving along slowly, he's also out there helping the other guys as well in coverages. So it's a mix, because you see how you could throw Frank in with Moutier, or you could throw him in with with Burke, and it still
It still can be smooth. It still can work.
exactly.
Right.
It's still
I'm with
smooth.
that.
It's still smooth because right now Moutier, even though Moutier doesn't, he puts up the same numbers as Frank offensively. Frank does more than he does totally. But what the problem is that Moutier he has more experience, so Moutier understands the game a little bit more.
Right.
Plus Moutier played the year in China. Plus Moutier's he was developed here. He's an American. He has an American game.
Right.
So he
right.
understands.
I mean, he came from the Congo, but he basically grew up in the States, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So he basically understands the U.S. game more than Frank does right now. Frank is a baby. Think about it like this: there's kids that got left back 1 year in school, and they graduate high school at 19. There's kids that just graduated high school at 18. So you're basically looking at a kid that just came out of high school. There's kids in college that are like 23, 22.
I mean,
21.
Frank is basically a high school kid in the NBA. You're right.
Exactly. He basically just came out of high school. If you want to look at it like that, so people need to chill. They need to step back real quick, and they need to realize that what we got right now with Frank is gonna end up working out. Especially the only thing is that what I'm not happy about is that he's saying he wants to go back to France over the summer.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that either, man. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I understand he's homesick and he wants to be at home. I'll be cool if he takes a few weeks, like 2-3 weeks, but he needs to come develop his game here, get some run here.
Yeah. He needs to be in the States and play. He needs to, I don't even think he needs to play with NBA guys. I think he needs to go play some street ball.
Yo, I take him to Dykeman, man. I'm around.
Yeah,
I take him to Dykeman.
He needs to stay here, hang with Donovan Mitchell, right, and have Donovan Mitchell take him out to the park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I understand. He's young and he probably misses friends and family back in France. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But at some point, he needs to come back and spend some significant time here, playing against U.S. guys. You know what I'm saying, and trying to develop that. Just understand how the game is played aggressively. You know what I'm saying? Playing the street ball type of game, so he can bring some of that to his game and bring some of that to the NBA with him. You know what I mean? He's not going to get that in France.
Another concern of mine is that once we get that small forward, like right now we got Troy, right?
Right.
Mark was saying Troy's a shooter. If you would have saw the pregame, he would have saw that he said that he's not a shooter. You saw that layup he made, that little that fancy layup he made.
Yeah.
He got chased off the 3-point line and he was wide open. He was scared to shoot. He's not a shooter. He's just an athletic 3-guard. He's 6'7". He's kind of undersized for a 3-guard, but he's a 3-guard. He's very athletic, and he finishes around the rim. That's his game.
Yeah.
Once we get that actual 3-guard that we desperately need, I believe that Hardaway is gonna go back to the 2, and then that's when we're gonna have a trouble back again at the point guard. But until then, that's a long way from now, but. I think that's what's gonna end up happening because Hardaway, his contract is too much money not to play him and to have him come off the bench.
Yep, but there he is, wide open, pumps fakes, lay up to the lane.
Exactly. Yep. He was scared to shoot. He had that open shot. He was scared to shoot.
Yeah. I think he pulled one. He missed it. I think he pulled one tonight, if I remember correctly, and he didn't hit it. I did see, I was just looking at a couple of clips. Just looking at a couple of clips from the G League, I think it was, and he hit a couple. Seen him hit a couple, but hopefully, I know this was his first game. I want to see what he can do, while he's out there, get a couple of minutes. He got 6 minutes tonight. We needed a guy like that. 8 minutes.
Hey, man, I got a question. What happens to your boy Cornette?
We'll see what happens with him, man. He still got some time.
He's too damn big to be
Still
hanging
got some
around
time.
the 3-point. He's too damn big to be hanging around the 3-point line all day.
I mean, you know, he only plays 7 minutes tonight. You know what I mean? He only played.
Hey,
he'll get his time to get in. I think when he gets in, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he got those 11 rebounds before by accident.
Well, he needs to start hanging around the rim a little bit more, because
you know, I mean, well, he probably won't be getting offensive rebounds because he hangs out that 3-point line. That's what he does.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. On the offensive side, he hangs on that 3-point line too much.
Yeah.
If he was to get that inside-out game going, he'll be a beast.
Does he even have an inside game?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know if he has an inside game.
He's hanging around the 3 all day. If he gets that inside-out game, he'll be a beast, because he does got it. He has a shot. He has a stroke. But he needs to work on getting that inside-out game, because once he gets that, he could be a poor man's KP. So it's like
a poor man. Yeah. I can see that. Well, man, yeah, I'm gonna let you rock. Thanks for the call.
All right, no doubt.
All right, I know Ronald Cleveland is trying to call in, but appreciate the call, man. I'll catch you out. Well, we play. Right, whenever we play after the Boston game. All right, peace out, bro.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah, we got young guys. We got young guys out there, and you know, we got some talent on the floor. I'm not gonna say we got the top talent of young guys in the league, but we got some young guys. So Ronald Cleveland is calling. I'm gonna try to get my man on the line. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ronald, give me a second. I want to see what Troy Williams can do. I had Troy Williams up as kind of a guy to talk about tonight. I want to see what he can do. You know, he doesn't look like the kind of guy that's going to be creating. I think he's athletic. Hopefully he can shoot the 3. Jeff Hornacek said, you know, that he's a defensive guy. He can play defense. So I want to see what he can do. You know, I know he probably has only had 1 or 2 practices, maybe. Hasn't had time to really get in there and practice with the guys, work with the guys, get to know the team. Once he does, hopefully his minutes pick up. I'm excited that, you know, he got even 6 minutes tonight, given that he just got with the team. So that means that, you know, they're going to give him a fair shake, you know, and see what he actually can do. And you can see the athleticism. I think he had 4 points tonight. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely an athletic kind of guy. And you know, that's what we needed. We desperately needed athletes on this team. Desperately. You know, so it's good that Scott Perry and them guys, they had their eyes open. So we know they're not sleeping. They're not sleeping up there. You know, and I really didn't mean that as a I ain't mean to diss Phil Jackson on that, but if it fits, it fits, right? But they're not sleeping up there. They're paying attention to what's going on. And you know what happened last time we picked up one of Houston's waivers? Wasn't that Jeremy Lin? I mean, I'm just saying. I ain't saying we're not gonna have Troy Sanity. I'm just saying, you know. But anyway, Ronald Cleveland, what's popping, bro?
Man, what's up to the chat?
What's happening with you?
Man, hey, Simeon, man, I'm just looking at this thing tonight, man. I love seeing the youth out there. And early on, looking at that first quarter, man, I was like, you guys to be kidding me. These guys coming in here looking like they ain't ready to play. I didn't like what I saw from them in that first quarter at all. The energy wasn't there. And all these folks that's talking about tank, man, come on, man. When have that ever been even fashionable? If you a baller, if you like the game, if you like any sport, you shouldn't want your team to throw games. That's like going and watching a boxer going to throw a fight. Why would you even want that? That's just like Herman would say, man, you play to win the game. And if you're a competitor, you play to win the game. And I'm telling you what I see with Frank, I love the kid game. And when people try to compare him and Moutier, that kid game right now is where Moutier's game is at. right now for as long as Moutier has been in the league. And so when you look at that fact, Frank is way ahead of where Moutier is when you look at them guys and just thinking about their age. And with Trey Burke, Jeff should have been playing this kid the whole time. If you look at his whole body of work, the kid is a problem. And he gets to the spots on the floor like it's easy. And the same thing with Frank. I watch him, the kid get to the floor like it's nothing, get his spots on the floor. And I watch Trey Burke, when people talk about him being small, I watch that kid fight through them screens and everything tonight. Yeah, he is hungry. Let the kid play.
And he's hungry. Play. He's hungry because, he had that, he came in and he was hot when he was first brought up. And then his minutes just went down to nothing.
Exactly, for no reason.
You know what I'm saying? So now, he knows I got to bring it. I got to come with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I got to come with it.
And I think it's got a lot to do with his size. Is the reason why Jeff is not letting that guy really play like he should be playing.
And that's probably what it is. But like whoever it was, I think Mark said, Trey's going to have nights like this, and he'll probably have some nights where he doesn't do as much too. Depending on who he's playing against.
He's going to have more games where he's scoring because the kid is a natural scorer. He's a natural scorer.
His shot is sweet.
And Hardaway, really, I agree with you. It's time for Hardaway to really sit. We already know if we're going with youth movement, we need to see what the other young guys can do. We know what we're going to get out of Enes Kanter. We know what we're going to get out of Hardaway. Put them guys to the bench. Save them for next year. Them for next year.
Yeah, they are young. They are young too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just not a fan of Hardaway's game. I really tried this year.
I don't like it neither.
I really tried this year to be a fan.
He'll shoot you out.
Yeah, I really tried this year to be a fan of Hardaway's game, but I just can't. I just can't become a fan of his game.
I'm telling you, I see why Phil got rid of him. Mm-hmm. And especially that game where he had 32 points in the first half, and then you come back in the second half and you score 5 points. No way. And I've seen enough of Hardaway, man. I really think that contract gonna come back to bite us.
Hardaway, it might. It might come back to bite us, man. Yeah, I just don't like his game. Most of it is mental. He has the right body type. He has the physical abilities. He has the tools. But mentally, I just don't like where his head is at. His basketball IQ. I mean, I just don't like his game. Listen, I'll say this. Let me put it like this. I don't like his game compared to the amount of money we gave him.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
If we paid him $8 million a year, I'd be like, dang, okay, Hardaway's doing work.
He's worth about a $45 million. That contract should have been 45 overall.
But
and I tell you what, if you would have took his dad mentality and stick it inside of him and his body, we would have something. Yeah. We would have something. But everybody in the league knew what Hardaway is, man. And it really reminded me, he's really a street ball player, man. He don't play within the flow of the offense. Because I watched him tonight take some ill-advised shots, nobody underneath the basket.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, Hardaway's had a journey in the league, right? He got drafted to the Knicks, went to Atlanta. They sent him to the G League because he didn't play defense. He rededicated himself. It's his first time having this much responsibility on a team.
And I get that
too. So maybe he still can develop and learn. I'm willing to see, but
I tell you what, I give him one more year. If I see what I see this year from him next year, hey, at the end of next year, they can go ahead and trade him. And I agree 100%. Frank does not need to go back. To France. He can go home to visit. I understand you're homesick. I mean, he's 19.
Right.
Go home, visit your family. Matter of fact, bring your family back with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bring your family back with you. And I agree with you. He need to go hook up with Donovan Mitchell. He need to get on the streets and play so he can get used to playing with guys who got that dog in them.
That's right. That's what he needs.
And Frank, really, I tell you what, I saw him with that defensive play he made tonight. It was 2 plays in particular. That block shot on the right side of the basket, and when he recovered from that turnover, and came back and stole the ball. I was like, man, this dude, if he was playing like Jeff should have been playing him, and I agree, it's time for him to start. Moutier should not be starting over that kid, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you go on that.
Yep. All right, Ron.
Knicks, we're going to be back, man. I agree with everything what they're saying, man. It's time for patience. Keep stocking up assets, and we'll be right.
That's right. We're going to get there. We're doing it. You
tell them guys that's talking about tanking, don't even call the line no more.
I hear you, man. I'm not a tank guy. If we play the youth,
you ain't, man, because you a baller.
Yeah, we play the youth. That's cool. I'm cool with it. You play the youth, but you try to win with them. That's it.
And I guarantee you, the youth going up, they're gonna try to win. They ain't going up there to lose.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm gonna let you have it, man. Hey,
all right, man.
What's up to the chat? Hey, Knicks, we'll be back.
For sure. All right, peace out, bro.
All right.
Yeah, man. Frank going to Paris. You know, I'm not totally with it. I want to see him stay. He needs to stay. He needs to play in the States. But no, I am with it. I am with it, and I'm not with it. I'd like him to go, be with his family, his friends, all that kind of stuff. He's young. He misses them. I understand that. But he needs to get back. He needs to get out there on the playground, play some aggressive basketball, work with Chris Brinkley. You know, he's got to understand the American game. You know what I mean? The American game. He's got to understand the American game. And just like Ronald just said, you know, play with guys that got that dog in them and try to develop that mentality. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what we need from him. Because if he can do that and he brings that to the floor, and I'm gonna show this clip in a minute, he brings it to the floor, he can be vicious. He could be something. My man Ron, what's going on? Ron Martinez, what's poppin', bro? How you feeling?
I'm doing a lot better. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How you feel about the game tonight?
A lot of. I mean, of course, you know, I ain't like the start off like the other caller said. Rough start off the game, low energy. But I like the way it picked up. I like the effort. I like the defense. A lot better defense. You know, I like to see that. You know, a lot better effort on the defensive end, and you know, like basketball. You know, you can have an off night, but sometimes you can control some things on offense, but you can always play defense.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You can always give effort, and you can always play defense. And when you do that, you give yourself a shot. You know, you give yourself a chance.
100% of the time. 100% of the time, man. You play with effort, you're going to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and that's against anybody. It could be the top team in the league. You play defense. Hey, you know what? You make it down to the wire. You never know. You know, bounce here, bounce there. Never know. You shoot a three, you get fouled. Hey, then you know. So you know, and you know, if you play to win, not play not to lose. Exactly.
And you know, they talked about it a little bit in the broadcast during the game. You know, they were talking about I just lost my train of thought.
About the commentating about during the game?
Yeah, I just lost my train of thought that quick.
Oh, you did?
that quick, man. Just lost my train of thought. Oh, they were talking about how, you know, when you got some new guys coming to the team and they don't really know everyone, it could take a while defensively for them to understand what each other wants to do. But I can understand that in a way. Right. But still play hard. And if you play hard, it's going to make up for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, as a frustrated fan, I can accept the fact that we're not a playoff team or we're not a contending team, but at least give me defense, at least give me effort.
Right.
You know?
Right. At least give you that. Get out there on the floor, you know, scrape up your knees. And that's the one thing about in a situation like this, you know, the young guys are going to do that because they're trying to make their name in the NBA.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so you know they're going to do it.
And you know something, I think probably maybe this could be one of the reasons why we saw a little bit of effort right now, because sometimes these players are very fragile. They know they're not getting traded, right? The trade deadline is over. So some of these guys like, you know what, and I can focus on, you know, this is a tryout right now to see, for either my next contract or for coming back next season, to the Knicks. And some players are like that. That before the trade deadline, a veteran who's been around the league a couple of times, he's like, listen, man, I'm not even worried about you. I've been traded 2-3 times, but sometimes young players, sometimes they can't handle that until after the trading deadline. Sometimes you see a whole different game after the trading deadline. So that could be it too,
Yep.
And I noticed tonight's game, when they weren't switching and they were playing that one-on-one defense, I love that.
Exactly, man.
I love that.
Because when you switch, you get lazy. Mm-hmm. Now, if you had a team that's disciplined enough to switch and not become lazy with it, that's one thing. But for the most part, players are going to get lazy because all right, well, we're just going to switch. Right. So I don't have to do as much work. But when you say, listen, I want you to stay with your man, you force your guys to really have to play defense and to fight over the screens and not just switch. You know what I'm saying? When you switch, you just become lazy. Your hands are low. You know what I'm saying? You're not really in the best defensive stance. So if a guy makes a move, you know what I mean? You're not really in position to move with him. Because you're just gonna switch. So you take a whole lazy style of game, a lazy defensive style. Yeah, if guys make the guys work, stay with your man and work.
Yep, and touching on these guys, I know we've been talking tonight about Moutier and Moutier and
Frank.
And Frank, you know what they remind me just a little bit. Years ago when we had Greg Anthony, he could always get to the basket, but he could never finish, and that is so frustrating. You have a guard that can get to the basket, and I noticed both of them. I would think Moutier would be a lot more advanced in that area than Frank. But they both connect when they get to the basket. Like, oh, okay, he beat his man, and they can't finish. And I'm like, oh my.
Yeah. We seen it from Frank tonight too, and Frank gets all the way. Frank gets like to the glass.
Yeah,
and he doesn't finish.
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. I'm like, a guy 6'5". I'm like, how you don't finish when you're 6'5"? I can understand if it's Trey Burke, because he's a little guy. But these guys are 6'5". I'm like, you gotta finish if you're 6'5".
Exactly, you gotta finish that.
But another thing I was going to mention to you, the last time we spoke, we didn't get to speak, but you know how now we keep talking about, and I notice some teams are doing this right now, that when they don't get another coach, they get an advisor. And I know we can never get Jerry West, but if you were to get somebody, a real basketball person in that front office, because sometimes you have to just say, okay, you know what, stick to the coach, but sometimes you need a real basketball person. And I don't know some of the calls remember this, but years ago, he did a trade that a lot of people did not understand at first, and it became one of the best trades in NBA history. He traded Vlade Divac for Kobe Bryant. Right. And Kobe Bryant was not a top. He was drafted by the Kings.
Yeah, like 13th pick, right? Or was it the Hornets? I think it was the Hornets he was drafted by.
Hornets. He was the 13th pick, and he wasn't the Kobe Bryant that we know. When he first came, he was a kid. Right. They had Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel.
He played a few minutes, averaged like 7 points a game or something like that.
Exactly. Who would have known that would have been the next closest thing to Michael Jordan. Back then, nobody saw that. But something that Jerry West was like the diamond in the rough. He saw something in Kobe. He's like, I'm making this trade. And everybody's like, who's this kid? Kobe Bryant, Kobe Jelly. Who the hell is this kid?
Right.
And look at that. You know what I'm saying? He's the closest thing we ever seen to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and it would be nice to have an advisor up there like that. Not someone who, just someone you call up to say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because those guys are, a guy like Jerry West, man, he's in touch with everybody.
Exactly. And when he made that trade during the trading deadline, that the Knicks eventually down the road, doesn't matter if it's KP or whoever, when your team starts playing better and these players start developing at the trading deadline, people are going to try to see if you're desperate enough. They were like, hey, you want this number 1 pick? You want this number 2 pick? Okay, and sometimes you have to have a guy in the front office that's not listening to the fans. He's not listening to the media. Say, listen, I'm going for this. And I'm not saying I want to trade KP, but at that time, Vlade Divac was still a good ball player. Right. But he said, you know what? and it was a controversial trade. Cause like, how you gonna trade an NBA player for a kid that coming out of high school?
Right.
And I bet you right now, looking back at that trade,
the Hornets are killing themselves over that.
Oh my God! They're like, oh my God, we had Kobe Bryant and we traded
for Vlade Divac, right?
I mean, think about it, you know?
Because they would have had Kobe. I think they had Zoe.
Yeah, and Larry Johnson.
And Larry Johnson still.
You know my God, that would have been a squad.
The squad. You take, you give Kobe maybe 2 years, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because Charlotte was on their way up. Charlotte was on their way up at that time.
Right.
They were on their way up. You know, I was gonna ask you, if they decide to go into a different direction down the road, which I know this is probably like a wishful thinking, but what about, I'm gonna throw 3 names at you, and which one you think would be a good fit for the Knicks? Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3 coaches: Mike Krzyzewski, John Calipari, and Tom Izzo.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would mess with John Calipari.
Okay, because he's been in the NBA already before.
Yeah, he's been in the NBA before.
And that didn't go too well.
Right.
I think he had the GM and coach position at that time with the Nets.
Yeah. I think maybe Coach K, man.
Well, he's coached pros and I mean he's in the Olympics.
Because he's coached pros in the Olympics. You know what I mean? I think I'd go with Coach K.
And which NBA player wouldn't want to play for him?
Exactly. Who wouldn't want to play for him? Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to sell that. It's like if you get Coach K, they're like, forget about Dolan. They're like, wait a minute, Coach K?
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm thinking do you have to really sell a free agent to say, hey, you can play for Coach K? He's won in the Olympics. He's coached LeBron. He's coached Melo. He's the best ball players.
He's coached the best ball players. That's right. I don't think you have to sell that to any player.
Exactly.
You don't have to sell it to any player. Any player. I don't think so.
Exactly. So that was something that I'm wondering, because the Knicks don't have a lot of stuff going for them right now. But sometimes I think if he's not the coach, then you got to have a basketball person like a Jerry West that behind the scenes, he's not looking for fame. He's not looking for the camera. He said, listen, I'm a basketball guy. That's what you brought me in here for. And, because sometimes you got people, because there's been rumors about the Knicks over the years, and I don't know if it's still like that. They say that the Knicks, that the front office is ran like a Fortune 500 company, but it's not ran like a basketball operation. That they're running more like a bit. So, and that's probably what's hurt the Knicks,
I believe it because, the Knicks they're publicly, they're traded on the market. Well, Madison Square Garden is traded on the market. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, they're a part of this larger corporation.
Right.
So, I can definitely see how they're run like a Fortune 500 company.
And that's not going to win you no championship.
No.
You have, you need basketball guys.
You need basketball guys in there.
The basketball guys don't think like a corporate America. They think totally different. They see things totally different.
Right.
So maybe you can get a job with them in the front office.
Hey, I love it. They might not like me up there, but I love it.
Oh, I tell you, I hear you. But but they need someone like that.
They need someone somebody
that eats and breathes basketball.
Exactly. And that's what they need. Hopefully that's Scott Perry. I don't know if it's Steve Mills, but hopefully that's Scott Perry.
I've never seen Steve Mills. I know he has a basketball background, but I'm hoping Scott Perry, that he's that type of dude, that when they're behind closed doors, he's like, okay, listen, I know what you guys think as far as, marketing wise, but he's like, listen, basketball wise, this is the move we need to make.
Right.
And sometimes you need that guy. I know he's not I know he has to run things through Steve Steve Mills.
Through Steve Mills.
Steve Mills. Maybe hopefully Steve Mills has enough confidence and respect in him, because from what we heard, Scott Perry is pretty much respected around the league. So so if he has some kind of weight behind behind his advice, his decisions, basketball decisions, but we'll see what happens. I know right now just hopefully this youth movement here. You'll get to see. Trey Burke. Tonight was an awesome game for him, and I'm not saying it's gonna be like that for the rest of the year, but he looked like he was into it tonight. Like he was
into it. he was into it. He knew he had to. He needed to get out there and play. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
because
I'm gonna make the best of this time on the floor.
Exactly. right. You don't know what's gonna happen with Coach Hornacek.
He probably got tired on that bench. He's like, man, I'm gonna make these guys, force them to start me.
Exactly. Because against Boston, he might not get no minutes against Boston with the way Hornacek goes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, Ron, I'm gonna let you rock, man. Thank you for the call.
Okay, brother.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, we're doing this with the tanking. No more tanking.
Yeah, for real, man.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, and I agree with Ron, man. We do need guys that are just basketball guys up there because the Knicks, being that they are a corporation, or Madison Square Garden is a corporation, there's a lot of corporate guys in there. I think it's a start with James Dolan kind of stepping aside and letting guys still run it. Of course, he's going to have his times and moments where he gives his input or whatever. But I think for the most part, he really has stepped back and just let people run it. But now you really got to get those basketball diehards in there. Pull in somebody like a John Thompson, man, and just for advice, not as a coach, not as your general manager, just somebody that you can say, hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? Guys, in my opinion, guys who have been in the NCAA, those, you need those eyes, right? Because they can tell you, they go out and they recruit guys. You know what I'm saying? They go out and they watch guys in high school and follow their careers into the NBA. They know what a guy has. That's one thing. If you pull up a college coach that's willing to be your consultant, someone like a John Thompson, or other people like that that's willing to be a consultant to you and just help you to scout out players and look at guys' tendencies on the court. You know what I'm saying? I think that's big for you. And like Ron said, you need a guy up there that he's not worried about his job. He's not worried about what the fans are saying or pleasing this person or that person. He's just telling you like it really is. You know what I mean? He's just telling you like basketball wise, this is what this guy brings to the table. This is what it is. You should go get this guy. You know what I'm saying? No politics, nothing, just basketball. You do need a guy back there like that. You know what I mean? You need a guy like that. But I want to take a look. I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about with Frank, though. Getting back to Frank, we're still talking about the young guys, right? But Frank, when he makes up his mind to go, and that's all he thinks about, he can get to his spots, and he does it. We've been talking about it. He does it all the time. He just needs to make up his mind to do this more often. Just check him out here, right? You see, he's sizing him up now. Got the ball. He's sizing him up because he has to go. There's 7 seconds left on the clock. He doesn't have to go. There's been other times with 7 seconds left where he passed it. But he decided, here, I'm taking it. The floor is spread wide open. He's got the lane to himself. And he actually puts on the Jets and shows some explosion. And these are the things that I see that make me say, this kid, one of these days, could really be good if he changes his mentality just a little bit. Tweaks it just a little bit. Check him out. You're going to see him shake and go. That easy. He gets there. And whoever this Fournier, whatever, he couldn't stop him. There was nothing he could do about it. He cut him off. Frank slithered his body to the other side, got hit, and still got it up. He gets a little bit stronger. That's going to be an and one all day. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things that I see with Frank that causes me to say, this guy could really be good, because I've seen those times where he explodes that way. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the times, where he decides I'm going to go and he gets to where he wants to get. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Troy, you say he got in front of him and just bailed him out. No, Frank got to where he wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? He pulled him out and he sized him up. If Fournier actually was able to stop him, he would have stopped him at the free throw line. But no, he got to where he wanted to be. Easy. And I've seen it time and time again with Frank. You know what I'm saying? Where he gets into the paint but kicks it out. Penetrate all the way to the basket, but try to pass it off to the big under the basket and turn it over. He gets to where he wants to get on the floor. He's just got to change his mentality and look to be aggressive and score. Everything else will open up for him. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. So let's talk about some draft prospects since we're talking about the youth. You know, we're in the middle of a youth movement. And let's talk about adding more to this youth movement. You know, because that's what, you know, that's part of what we're going to need to do to grow. We're going to add more to the youth movement. We've been talking about our first round picks the last few shows, but I want to look at second round pick. And, you know, where we could possibly fall in the second round. Right now, if you look at the order, we are 9th right now. And we'd be picking, and so in the first round right now, we'd be picking 9th. In the second round, we'd be picking 38th. Okay, so that's what we look at right now. You know, if you want to look at the draft power rankings, you know, all these teams, of course, Cleveland has this pick from Brooklyn. All right, so they, you know, they're going to be getting a top 10 pick this year. But you know, we're down here at 11th. We'll see what happens. You know, who knows what these young guys will do, if they'll continue to, you know, try to patch some games together and win some games or whatever it is. But, you know, if you look at right now, they have us, Tankathon has us picking Wendell Carter from Duke. We talked about that. You know, most of us would probably like Mikal Bridges or one of the Bridges, you know, because or Miles Bridges, because we definitely need small forwards. You know what I'm saying? Famous, you say Robert Williams, check him out. Okay, we'll check him out. But, you know, one of the Bridges looks like, and there are reports that there's interest from within the Knicks organization with one of the Bridges. You know what I mean? So I think we need a small forward. Power forward, I don't think we need a power forward right now. I mean, KP is our power forward, stretch power forward. So if you're picking a power forward at 9, you're probably hoping this guy is going to be a starter. And if you got KP, unless you think in the next 2 years KP is going to be playing at the 5 spot, then maybe I can understand it. But I think that KP wants to remain a 4. You know, he's said it in the past. He wants to stay a 4. And I think that's what's going to happen. Now, let's take a look at this 38th pick. Tankathon has us taking Grayson Allen from Duke at the 38th pick. Could happen. It's possible. All right. Grayson Allen. He's a senior this year, shooting guard / point guard. He's 6'4", 195 pounds. He's 22 years old. He'll turn 24 in October. He's a 3-point shooter. Now, he shoots 38% on the college level. We'll see how that translates to NBA. Right now, he's averaging 15.6 points, 4.5 assists, 3.4 rebounds per game. All right, and here's a quick look at Grayson Allen. quick look. And, you know, we'll see. You know, second round pick, I don't know. I think in the second round, I'm still going to be looking for it. We have so many guards now. So many guards at his and shout out to THZ. Shout out to THZ for the highlights. But, you know, so many guards at his size. Now, we do need three-point shooters, though. I'll say that. You always need three-point shooters. You're always going to need guys to kick it out, too, that can knock it down. Shooting 38% at the college level, though, how's that going to translate to the NBA? Is he going to shoot 38? Is he going to shoot 38, 40% in the NBA? You know, the NBA line is a couple feet back. All right, I don't know. It's just my opinion. I think, you know, I think you can find three-point shooters. You know, you can find some three-point shooters. I think that, I don't know, if I'm the Knicks, I'm looking for another small forward, another wing player that's in that 6'7", 6'8" range, even in the second round. Or a center, if there's any. You know what I mean? In that second round. But I don't think I'm looking at another guard. You know, unless he's a prospect that you think has a lot of upside that was passed over, you know, and you really think this guy could be special, then maybe. You know, a guy like Grayson Allen, I don't know, you might be able to get him off of, you know, being an undrafted rookie. You know, I don't know. We'll see. You know, but I think I'm trying to stack up on longer wings. That's what I would do. I would stack up on longer wings. You know, famous, you say Chandler Hutchinson in the second round. He'll be the Kyle Kuzma of the draft. Maybe so. But I just don't think that, you know, picking up another 6'4" guard is what we need. You know, he's a 6'4" combo guard. I mean, how many of them are we gonna have? So I don't know. But of course, this is Tankathon. You know what I mean? You know, they have whoever they believe, whoever they have. So, you know, I don't know. Jason, you said you wouldn't worry about 3-point distance these days. Guys shoot from so far out anyway. Yeah, you're right. I don't know, you know, watching them. I guess I've seen him shoot a couple feet behind the arc sometimes. You know what I mean? But most of the time he's right there on that line. But you could be right. You say Grayson will get drafted. He might. Yeah, he probably will. I mean, they got him falling. They got him falling to the 38th pick. I mean, yeah, I guess he probably will get drafted. You know, when you look down the line, yeah, you're right. He probably will get drafted. You know, in that second round. BN, you said wing off the draft. I don't even know what you're saying, bro. I don't even know what you're saying. Oh, you're saying we ain't gonna get nothing out the draft if we win? Oh, we're gonna get something out the draft. It's all about scouting. It's not always about picking in the top 5 or the top 10. Sometimes it's about scouting. You know what I mean? And sometimes it boils down to scouting and making the right pick. You deal with what you got, and you scout, and you pick, and you pick the right players. That's why you got to have a good developmental department. That's why you got to have good scouts. You pay good scouts. You pay those kind of guys to go out there and see who's out there. You know what I'm saying? And look at a guy's fundamentals. Look at a guy's athleticism. Look at their characteristics. Look at the way that they fit, and try to understand how they will translate to the NBA. You know, your top 5 players don't always translate to the NBA. Sorry to say it, man. It doesn't always happen. you know, your top 5 guys don't always turn out to be what you want them to be. You know, sometimes they do. A lot of times they do. All of them don't turn out to be the superstars that you think they're supposed to be because they're top 5. You know what I mean? The highest pick that the Golden State Warriors have had in the last 8 years has been the 4th pick. That's pretty high. The 4th pick in the draft. That's the highest pick that the Golden State Warriors have had. And he's a bum. Oh, what's his name? I'm gonna pull his name up. I'm gonna pull him up for you. All right, it was 4th and no, what? It wasn't Festus Ezeli. Maybe it was. No, it wasn't Festus. It was another guy, with a guy with an African name. I can't think of his name right now, but he turned out to be a bum. You know what I'm saying? He was the 4th pick in the NBA draft from the Warriors. You know, so you know it is what it is. Ryan McFarland, what's popping, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you feeling? Give a shout out to the chat.
Yeah, shout out, chat. And you were just talking about the Warriors picks. I'll never forget when the Knicks were supposed to be drafting Steph Curry, and the Warriors picked him right before us, and then we ended up getting like fucking Jordan Hill or something like that.
We got Jordan Hill.
Yeah, we always got bad luck. But
yeah, as a matter of fact, the Warriors, the highest pick that the Warriors have had in the last 7-8 years, it's been the number 6 pick, and it's Ekpe Udo, however you say his first name. Right, that was the highest pick that they've had. You know, people, you know, who were talking about tanking in the draft and all that kind of stuff. It's been Udo. He was picked, and in 2009 they picked Curry at 7, and then they picked Udo, or however you say his name, and then after that, their highest pick was Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes no longer plays for the team.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't really buy into it. I don't buy into this whole tanking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The same with me, but the only thing that I'm worried about is James Dolan is really notorious for, once you get like a good young core, he loves to blow it up. Like if there's a free agent that, like, we trade away everyone just hoping that we were going to get LeBron, and then that didn't work out. Right. Like I'm just worried that we got this young core. We actually got draft picks now, but he's still the owner, so there's still a chance that, you know, right, he trades away Frank or trades away our pick for someone.
Well, you know, hopefully he's not he's always going to be calling the shots because he's the owner. But hopefully he's kind of stepped away and let the other guys do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's what I hope.
I hope too.
You know, now and I'm gonna stop this clock for a minute because I'm gonna let you get your due. I just want to say that everyone talks about the tanking, right? And I know that Philadelphia is, you know, right now they're decent. They are like the 6th seed or something like that, or maybe the 7th seed. I think they're the 7th seed. Philadelphia, yeah. Now they're the 7th seed. They're 31-25. They've won 6 in a row. That's great. They're doing well. But let's take a look at the draft picks that they've had. They've been tanking since like 2011, 2012. Okay? In 2010, they drafted Evan Turner. He no longer plays with the team.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They drafted Vucevic at 16 in 2011. In 2012, they drafted Maurice Harkless. No longer plays for the team. 2013, they drafted Michael Carter-Williams at 11. No longer plays for the team. In 2014, they drafted Elfrid Payton I'm not. I guess maybe they traded him to Orlando. I'm assuming. I'm not sure exactly what happened. 2014, they also drafted Joel Embiid. Okay, so Joel Embiid, they still have Joel Embiid. All right. 2015, they drafted Jahlil Okafor. Gone. I think, as a matter of fact, I think Noel, they traded Elfrid Payton. I'm not sure. I don't know, but they got New Orleans Noel. Maybe it was Elfrid Payton. One of these guys they traded.
Yeah, something like that.
For him. Yeah. And then 2015, Jahlil Okafor. Of course, 2016 is Ben Simmons. 2017 is Markelle Fultz. Right? So you got 3 guys out of all these first-round draft picks. You got 3 guys since then. Right?
That's true.
And they've also had, I don't know how many, since then they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like 19 or 20 second-round draft picks since then. And I don't know if I know all of these guys aren't on the team. So, if you're talking about you have 3 guys, 3 of your first-round draft picks out of the last 10 years, you got 3 guys that you drafted in the first round on your team. That means everybody else were free agents.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That means everyone else was free agents, or you signed from the G League, or maybe you got in the second round. 3 guys. Now, granted, 2 of those guys are probably really, really special. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they probably thought they were going to have 4 guys that were really, really special when they drafted Jahlil Okafor, and he's no longer there. He's probably not as special as they thought he was going to be. You know what I'm saying? It took 10 years to get 2 guys that's probably going to be really special, and we'll see if they're going to be really special, and we'll see if they even remain with the team. If they even remain with the team. You know, I watched a documentary on Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons, and maybe I'll pull it up and show you the clip of it next time. But when Ben Simmons, when they were talking about who might draft him, and when he said the Lakers, he was smiling. So he was like, yeah, Lakers. When he said Philadelphia, he was like, okay. You know, I don't know if he's really excited he's not as excited about being in Philly as Philly is to have him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. But like the one pretty good thing about Philly is that franchise, it might not have a good track record, but if that team is good, those fans will show up. Like the problem really is like teams like the Magic, like no matter they get superstar players, but they can never keep them because no one wants to play in Orlando. So hopefully the Knicks can just get one more pretty good pick. Some guy, like I'm just hoping for a small forward because it seems like we'll be all right with Canner, and we got Porzingis, and we got 3 or 4 promising guards.
Mm-hmm.
If you're counting Tim Hardaway, who's still kind of up and down. So if we can get a good small forward and just get a real good culture that, you know, isn't about trying to give up the lead in the fourth quarter, which seems like that's been the case for the past few years. Like this could be the place to be.
Yeah.
So that's all. After years of just sitting back and watching the Knicks lose, that's pretty much all I can hope for now. Is just to bring like a winning culture back, because we had like 1 year. We had like, what was it? 2012. All of a sudden, it was a completely new. Like the whole team was different.
Right.
But it only lasted 1 year. It was a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you know, and like someone just said, BN just said, you know, we've sucked for 15 years and we don't have any assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've sucked for 15 years not because we didn't get the number 1 draft pick, but because we don't have the front office or we haven't had the front office and the management to put together good teams. Like you're saying, you hope James Dolan doesn't do something crazy. Back in 2012, we actually put together a decent team because we had the right philosophy around Melo. Right? Yeah. But then we didn't operate properly to continue to build. Right? Yeah. We had an older squad. We had an older squad, but then we make a crazy trade for Bargnani, and we give up our first round draft pick for Bargnani, right? Where we could have got somebody liability. Right. Yeah, and that was just a bad move because he wasn't. I understood the philosophy. He was a big that could spread the floor, but not that big. That's not the guy you wanted.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
He was like a tall Steve Novak. That's not who we needed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's been management. It hasn't been because we didn't tank. It's been management all these years. Management has made bad decision after bad decision as far as personnel, coaches, general managers, presidents, managing the cap. That's been the problem.
Isaiah Thomas.
Exactly. Exactly. That's been the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's been the issue all along. Dysfunction from the top down. That's true. Always been the issue because when you look at teams, when you look at these other teams in the NBA that, listen, you don't win championships with young guys. You don't. Every championship team in the league have more guys that are free agents than guys that they drafted. You take a look at the rosters of guys of teams that are championship contenders or winning championships. They all have guys that they signed through free agency. I'm going to say 75% of their roster are guys that they signed through free agency, right? I heard somebody came at me the other day, not on here, and talking about Cleveland. And I was like, Cleveland? Are you really going to bring Cleveland to me? When LeBron left, right, they drafted Dion Waiters. They drafted Anthony Bennett. They drafted Kyrie Irving. They drafted Andrew Wiggins, right? Dion Waiters, no longer with the team. Didn't make it to the championship with the team. Anthony Bennett, terrible. Andrew Wiggins traded for Kevin Love, right? Now, I know they drafted LeBron, but when LeBron came back, of course, he was a free agent. All right? So they signed LeBron. They still had Kyrie. Everybody else on the team is free agents that LeBron or trades. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Golden State, you have 3 of your main guys. Then they have a couple of other guys that they drafted, low draft picks. But everyone else is free agents that they brought in, right? Because free agents are, they're tried and true. You know what they are. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they're worth a little bit more, because you know what they are. You know what they bring to the table.
You know exactly. And that's why I think the Knicks really got to change their culture as far as the front office. Well, not even the front office, as far as James Dolan. Because he made a mockery out of the whole team with just how he acted to Charles Oakley and that whole situation. And when he hired Phil, when Phil Jackson made those comments about LeBron James, I mean, it really left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And if they become a free agent, why would they want to come here?
Right.
If they know that the guy who owns the team and the guy that owns the team, James Dolan sent an email to a fan saying that he shouldn't be a Knicks fan. And like he's crazy. And it's just sad that that's who we're stuck with, and that's
And I really just I hope that, I mean, of course last year James Dolan had the whole thing with Charles Oakley and all of that. If he would just stay out of it, let the basketball guys do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he stays out of the basketball decisions. It seems like he's been staying out of the basketball decisions. Now we need him to stay out of all this other junk.
Well, he's like, the thing I don't get is, he, as far as I know, he doesn't bother the Rangers. Like, so why does he get involved with the Knicks?
I don't know. Like, and hopefully, that happened with Charles Oakley. Hopefully now he can just kind of, maybe nothing's happened this year from what we know. He's kind of been out of it, and maybe it'll stay this way.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, it's good talking to you.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Bye. But yeah, this whole BN, I understand what you're saying. We do need to bring in guys through the draft, right? But drafting is not the end all be all. It's all about, listen, you can draft the best guys ever. But if you don't know how to manage your roster, then it's not going to matter. If you don't know how to, if you have a weak culture, you don't know how to develop players, you don't know how to put the right pieces around, I don't think it's going to matter. Your teams, I mean, you can go back, name one team in history that truly tanked, and because they tanked, they won a championship. And please don't say San Antonio, right? Because if you go back and you look at San Antonio, before they drafted Tim Duncan, they were a team that was vying for championships. They had won 50 and 60 games for like 3 years straight before they got Tim Duncan. The only reason that they were able to get Tim Duncan is because David Robinson was hurt. Right? And when David Robinson was hurt, they weren't a good team. But before that, they were championship contenders. And they didn't try to lose that year. They didn't say we're going to lose so we can get the number 1 draft pick or whatever pick. David Robinson was hurt. So the team wasn't good without him, because the team was built around David Robinson. And then they were lucky enough to draft Tim Duncan. And then, of course, the legacy goes on, right? They win the championship the next year. So I guess you can call that a semi-tank, maybe. If David Robinson wasn't hurt, they wouldn't have been losing games. And I don't think they tried to lose games when David Robinson was hurt. They just weren't a good team. After David Robinson got hurt, they just weren't a good team. No other teams have tanked and then won a championship because they tanked. No other team. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Even the Celtics, with all the draft picks that they accumulated, their top players, Kyrie Irving. They traded for Kyrie Irving. They signed Gordon Hayward from free agency. They signed Al Horford. Right? They didn't tank. They didn't tank to get Jason Tatum. They were crafty enough to make trades to get that draft pick. They were smart enough to make trades to get that draft pick. Right? That was good management. That's what that was. Good management. They traded away some of their older guys and they got young draft picks. Look at Houston. Look at Houston. Kevin Painter. Big shout out for the super chat, bro. Thank you for the super chat. You said, which free agents and restricted free agents you think the Knicks should get? Do I think we should get Hazonia? I'm gonna come back to that. I want to talk about this because I just don't like the notion of tanking, and I don't think that tanking is the way to go. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's the way to go. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, who cares about, this whole culture thing, but I do. I think when you tank, you build a losing culture, losing mentality in young players. And, that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the Houston Rockets, though. See if I can find their draft picks. You look at their team today, right? The Houston Rockets are made up of free agents from across the league or trades from across the league. You know what I mean? They drafted Sam Decker 2 years ago. 3 years ago. They drafted Clint Capella. At the 25th pick, they drafted Clint Capella. You know what I'm saying? At the 25th pick, Gabriel, you say it's different now. It's obvious how these teams are tanking after they realize they're not making the playoffs. No, I agree. Yeah, it's different. Teams are tanking, but I'm saying I don't think it's good. I don't think it works. I don't think it works. Good management is what works. Having a strong front office is what works. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe works. Bill, is this BN?
What's going on?
Bill Nazar? How do you say your last name?
That's right, man. That's
Nazar?
right. I had to call in because,
okay, bro.
I think we have some fundamental disagreements about the tank. And,
yes, we do.
I wanted to give you my 2 cents,
Go for it.
I will see. Okay, so the tank, yeah. I mean, Tim Duncan, right? David Robinson got injured. Porzingis got injured. Why can't we just do something right? Okay, 15 years. Okay, Philly has been tanking for 10 years. Yeah, they got a few, generational, transformational players with Embiid and Simmons. Okay, with us, we got nothing. And the only year we barely tanked or did it almost right, we got Porzingis. And we could have had Towns. I'm not saying Towns is better than Porzingis, but we could have had Towns, right? And we messed it up towards the end of the season.
Okay, let me stop. Can I stop you right there?
After one last point. Last year, right, we lost 2 picks. It's just if we get a few, if we're top 3, top 5, we just have more players to work with in terms of scouting and picking the right player for us.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but like you just said something about Porzingis, and okay, my thing had to reconnect. That's why. So me and you, we were kind of talking without us being on air. I was just
comparing them to David Robinson.
Okay, yeah, so the thing about Porzingis is this: we had the number 2. We had enough ping pong balls to have the number 2 pick, right?
We could have had enough ping pong balls if we didn't lose the last few games to have the number 1 pick, but yeah.
I know, I get that. But there's no guarantee that we would have got the number 1 pick. Just like we had enough ping pong balls to have the number 2 pick, and we weren't guaranteed to have the number 2. We ended up getting the number 4 pick.
Okay.
We could have had enough ping pong balls to get the number 1 pick and ended up getting the number 3 pick. Who knows?
Okay. So you have a better chance, right?
You have a better chance.
I think the team that was slated to get the number 1 pick got the number 1 pick that year, though. But yeah, no, I get it.
All
I'm saying is that we if we can't even tank right, and we can't even play the young guys that is going to develop, right? Dotson got 7 minutes tonight. Are you kidding me? I can't even watch this team anymore because they played too much. Finally, they didn't play Jack, but they played too much, Thomas. I'm sorry. I don't like Thomas playing,
But see, there's a fundamental difference between playing young guys and tanking. I agree they should play Dotson more.
I don't think they should tank, like blatantly, obviously tank But again, they should play the players that actually have a chance of doing something. I just don't think Trey Burke has the potential. But fine, play him, but don't play him 35 minutes or whatever. Play the young guys that have a chance to make the team, that can play defense, like Dotson, like Frank. Don't play Mooney, who can't even play D.
We agree on that. We agree. We fully agree on that. Play the guys.
Exactly.
Play the young guys. Play the young guys. Try to see. My thing is, I want to play the young guys. I want them to play hard. I want them to play defense. I want Coach Hornacek to play the guys that are going to play the way that they want him to play.
Doing, though. The Hornacek doesn't know what he's doing because he took 60 games and kept playing Jack. He's still playing some of these older guys. He's playing heavy minutes with some of these older guys. We know what they can do, right?
I get you.
We don't know what Dotson can do. People are saying on the chat that he sucks. Shout out to the chat. But we don't know if he sucks because he doesn't get enough time. And the guy can shoot, and the guy can play D. Why not give him some time?
Now I get you. I'm with you 100%. I think that we should play those young guys so that those young guys can play. We can see exactly what we have. And I don't think that you believe in this either. At least I hope not. But it's happened with other teams. In my opinion, let's say we play all the young guys. Courtney Lee's no longer playing. Jack's no longer playing.
I think Courtney Lee's the only veteran that should play because he knows when they interview him for the post game, he knows he could be a coach. He knows exactly what's going on. He's the only veteran that I feel like knows what's going on.
Well, I agree with you, but I'm just saying. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Let's say you played none of them, and you played all the young guys, and all of a sudden we went on a 7-game winning streak. Let's just say. Of course not. But I'm just saying, just for the purposes of this conversation, you go on a 7-game win streak. Someone who believes that we should be losing right now would say, sit them down, go back to doing what you were doing when we were losing so that we could tank. I don't believe in that.
I don't agree with that, but I think
I don't believe in
that. I think Horny, he's trying to keep his job. For some reason, I feel like there's a better chance of keeping his job if he tanks, right? But because he may actually have a winning record next year, the year after. What he's trying to do right now is trying to win. So he's playing Beasley 30 minutes. Like, we know what Beasley can do. We like Beasley. Let's just keep him. But you don't need to play him 30 minutes when you're trying to develop young players. He's playing Tim 35. We know what he can do. He's trying to play Thomas 25. And he's playing Dotson 7 minutes. This is after the All-Star break when the management said they were going to play the young guys. This is why I can't stand this team anymore. Dotson gets 7 minutes.
It's one game. Let's see what he does. Maybe there's a lot of guys on the team. Sometimes you don't get everyone, but you still but when you're developing,
Horny's been doing this whole season.
You're right.
That's why I don't like.
You're right.
I don't like what he's doing.
But when you're developing young guys, you still got to play some veterans with them so that they can help school them on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
What are the,
you still got to play some.
What young guys are we playing right now? Besides, like that, we're not playing Dotson. The only other young guy that we're playing right now is Frank, that has some potential to really be a star, or at least a starter in this league, right? I mean, that's it. I mean, Trey, he's a scorer. We knew he was a scorer. People said he was a scorer, but he's a crappier version of IT right now, right? And nobody wants IT on their team because he can't play D. Cleveland was last place in D because IT was basically letting guys go past them all day. Is that the type of guy we want? I agree with the culture and everything, but I don't know. I just feel like
I think that with Trey, I think they're in a tryout. They're in a tryout session. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's kind of like preseason. It's kind of like preseason right now.
So play the young guys. Play Dotson.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Play the young guys. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. My whole thing is play the young guys, but you still do everything that you would do to try to win the game, but you're playing young guys. That's my thing. Because I believe that you have to, like. So what I'm saying is this: you play the young guys, but if someone gets hot, you don't take them out the game. You keep playing them. Like the Phoenix Suns last year. What's his name that they traded to the Bucks? He was perfectly healthy, perfectly fine.
Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe, perfectly healthy, perfectly fine. 26, 27-year-old guard. And they sat him down just so that they wouldn't win games. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? If your strategy is to collect young assets and play them, that's what you do. That's your strategy to win. But while you're doing it,
here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, "Oh, no. Let's play to win and then lose against Atlanta and Chicago." You know,
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Them, he has proven himself to be a terrible coach, losing against the two worst teams in the league twice. He's completely proven himself to be terrible. And then when he wins against Orlando was a joke, and they just swindled us because they were like, "Yo, we're gonna watch the pick that we're gonna get over you. There may be a chance that it's 10 times better than your pick, and we're gonna swindle you. We know we're the better team. We got a better set of players, but we're gonna lose at the end of this game because we know what we're doing."
Nah, I don't think so, because coaches and players don't go out there to lose. They don't do it. You can't get on the floor and go out there to lose. And if you do that, you'll be in trouble with the league.
Well, we get swindled either way. I'll tell you that much.
That's where this is what I'm saying. You can have it both ways. You can play the young guys, but you still prepare them as if you want to win. You still do the film sessions.
I agree.
You still strategize on how to win.
Why play Beasley? We know what he can do, and we know he can win us games. Why play him so much? Why play Lance Thomas when we know we can do? Why not give those minutes out to the younger guys like Cornette? I agree with you. Cornette has some potential, and Dotson, and they both got a total of 20 minutes this game. And Hornets that takes them out after one mistake, and he gives the veterans such a long leash. That's what I don't get.
I agree with you. Those guys should be getting more minutes. But if your team, if you're playing all young guys and you're getting blown out by 30 every game, your guys are not developing. They're not developing at all. If you're getting blown out by 30, you're not developing. Those guys are not learning.
I don't know about that.
Right?
I don't know about that. With good coaching, understanding the pace of the game, you don't have to learn by having a guy play right next to you, like Jared Jack, who's 45 years old, who's going to tell them ABC.
Playing the older guys helps you to at least stay competitive on the floor. You've got to get those guys some minutes, because they got to show those guys what to do in certain situations.
Yeah, but Lance Thomas isn't a veteran that's going to do that. He would not be in a starting lineup in any other team in the league. He barely would be in a lineup in a rotation in any like Lee. I agree. He should be there. Working with the guys, getting minutes with the guys, and guys like fucking with Jack playing the whole season, 60 games, dude. Jack should not be playing the game to be competitive. He can't play D.
But Jack helped us to win some games early on.
He helped us to win some games, and then
it was more than the first 15 games. He helped us to win some games early on, and then he kind of tethered off, and once we started losing, it was right
for like 35 games.
Though. No, he had some games in there. Just a couple of weeks ago, he helped us win a game. But we were at the point. He has a
long leash with Jack, but he has a short leash with Cornette and Dotson.
Jack didn't play at all tonight. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? God, he finally got the message.
He didn't play at all tonight.
60 games.
But the thing is, you still got to have some older guys on the floor. Maybe Lance Thomas isn't the best player in the world. You know what I'm saying? But he does play defense. He does bring a certain type of defensive mentality and intensity that you want the young guys to learn. You know what I'm saying? There is a process to it.
Like with the ball, he can't. He doesn't know. He forgets how to dribble.
He also got the steal that won us the game.
Which is very appropriate for a guy like Lance Thomas. He helps us lose the whole season, and then he wins towards the end when we need an actual pick. You know.
Well, see, that's my thing. See, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. So you would rather him not make a hustle play and work hard.
No, I'd rather him not play at all.
So then, if Damian Dotson made that steal,
I'd be happy.
Right? Oh,
because he's getting some real world experience on the court.
But then we still won the game, so it still hurts your tank.
It does hurt my tank a little bit, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You just said we can't do both.
Here's why I'm so much in the tank. I would be moderately in the tank if we weren't so behind in the tank standings, because all season long we've been winning against certain teams and then we've been losing against Atlanta and Chicago, and we're like, okay, we know we're not going to make the playoffs. We knew that a long time ago, or at least 20 games ago. At least I did. I went through the schedule, like you did. Mm-hmm. We went through the schedule and we said, okay, we know we're not going to make the playoffs. At that point, we should be like, okay, let's switch it up. But instead, we kept saying the same thing. We kept winning, getting some hope against, Charlotte, and then we lose against Atlanta twice, the worst team in the league. But meanwhile, these teams are like a bunch of teams are already been like not tanking, but playing the young guys, knowing what they need to do. And now we have the 10th pick in the draft, even though we have no shot at making the playoffs. We've been in that middle range for 15 years.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell was the 13th pick.
Yeah, but those are diamonds in the rough. Those are diamonds in the rough.
So Kobe Bryant was the 13th pick. We can go down a long list of players that have been picked after the 10th pick that turned out to be stars in the NBA.
Yeah, and we didn't get Donovan Mitchell. Even we didn't get Kobe Bryant.
No, but a bunch of other teams didn't either. You can go. There's a long list of players that have fallen below 10.
Sam, you don't think that we would have a better chance of getting a superstar player like LeBron James, like Dwayne Wade or whatever, if we didn't have a top 3, top 5 pick? You don't think we'd have a better chance of getting one of those players if we didn't have a better pick?
What pick was Jahlil Okafor? Number 3?
It doesn't. It doesn't. That. I mean, you know what? I agree that there's some busts that come off the top, but you have a better chance statistically of getting a better player up on the top 3, top 5 pick. You can't go wrong with Michael Porter Jr. this draft.
How do you know? How do you know that you can't go wrong with him?
Well,
have you seen him play against NBA competition?
There's a lot of busts. There's only certain players that end up being superstar talent, but you have a better chance of getting somebody like that. Kyrie Irving was a top 3, top 5 pick, right? LeBron was a top 5 pick. Dwayne Wade was a top 5 pick. I can name you endless top 5 picks that have ended up being successes too.
Yeah, right. You can, and they should, because they're top 5 picks. Right?
But all I'm saying is we got a better chance at that if we actually do something right. Porzingis is out. We know we're not making the playoffs. Play the young guys right instead of playing Lance Thomas 25 minutes so he can get us some defense against Orlando and win us the game. Okay, well, great. We won against Orlando. Great job, guys.
Well, I mean, if you're developing your players, if you're developing your players, then you gotta have some you got to have some vets out there on the floor with them. I think you're going to see those guys play. I really think you're going to see those guys.
There's 20 games left. Dotson should have been playing the whole season, and he's not getting any playing time because he's been sitting out while Jared Jack, who has no future with the team, has been playing 30 minutes a game.
But he's not now. Right, he's not now.
20 games left. There's not a lot of games left.
Well, these guys got time in the league to play.
He got 7 minutes tonight.
Who? Damian Dotson?
Yeah.
Right. He got 7 minutes, but other guys, other young guys got a lot of minutes.
Guys who can't play D.
Other guys got a lot of minutes.
Can't play D.
You got to give. I mean, have you ever coached before?
I'm thinking about it because I stopped playing a little while back. I've been thinking about it, maybe starting with like Little League, but I do a lot of kind of strategy in other ways, and I like to think of myself as a basketball expert somewhat, and that's why I'm trying to I'm trying to think like long term, man. I'm trying to think.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I want you to go out and coach a team. Okay. Right. And if there's a youth team out there, coach them, and then see how hard it is to sub and put players in and understand, how many minutes each person is playing, trying to catch the flow of the game. Who do you play at a certain points of the game? It's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just so happens that a player that you wanted to get in, you just don't get him in. And you got to wait till the next game. It happens that way. And as a coach, you play the people that you trust. Even if you're playing the young guys.
That's the thing. That's what I don't agree with Hornacek, and I just feel like because he trusts the wrong players, he needs to go. We need a player. We need a coach that trusts the younger players and give them the keys to the game and say, hey, I want to give you good coaching, but I need you to go out there and execute. And I don't think he's been doing that. He gives it to the older players that know how to play, but they're not talented. These players, Jared Jack and Lance Thomas, this is Porzingis's complimentary lineup, is supporting cast, right? Like people are hating on KP. Oh, he had a bad game. He missed a few shots. Oh, I think we're losing it. But his supporting cast is Jared Jack, who can't shoot for his life and can't play D for his life, and Lance Thomas, who has no idea what he's doing on offense.
I mean that's but still, as a coach, you coach who you have and you play who you have, and there's going to be certain players, even if you're playing the young guys, there's going to be certain players that you just trust, and it takes time for other players to build that trust from the coach.
Ron Baker. Hornacek trusts Ron Baker, and Ron Baker's trash. He trusts Jared Jack. Jared Jack is trash. And so I don't trust what Hornacek is doing. And so management needs to realize that and say, hey, listen, this guy's been playing all these old guys. When all the season we've been saying we're gonna actually go fast, go young and develop guys.
Well, you never know what management, how they discussed it. They did, obviously they discussed that at this point in the season, they were going to, just go with the young guys. I assume that they wanted to give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? And so now they decide they're going to go with the young guys. And the thing with Hornacek, I think that goes beyond and besides just tanking. But, with Hornacek, we all know he's not. We all know he's not going to be the coach of the future. He's not going to be the coach of the future. But hey,
I don't get what he's doing, man. I don't get what he's doing. I don't get what the Knicks are doing. I thought we were on the tank wagon, and at least we were going to get a top 5 pick. Now with this win, it's unlikely. We're lucky if we get top 10, and we better cross our fingers we get a half decent player, because Michael Porter's going to go to another team, and he's going to be a transformational player for 10 years to come, 15 years.
We'll see.
Miss out on that.
We'll see. There's been some players in the league that people thought was going to be transformational. But I hope that he is. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You don't know. Who knows what can happen? Anything could happen in the league. That's why you've got to have good management, because we could get the 12th pick and then come into the draft and make some trades and end up with the 5th pick. You just don't know. That's why you've got to have management.
That's what's so dysfunctional about the Knicks, because for the management, we kept Phil until he drafted Frank, and then we let him go. That's kind of stupid.
That was dumb.
Stupid.
That was crazy. That's probably was James Dolan.
And as a coach, that listen, the triangle and what Phil was trying to do with the triangle and with Frank is totally different from what the entire league is doing with the pick and roll and spreading the floor and all of that. And Phil didn't even believe in the pick and roll. Meanwhile, every other team is doing it, and that's and those are the point guards that actually thrive, like a Westbrook or a Chris Paul is through the pick and roll.
I hear you. Hey, Bill, thank you. Hey, Great conversation, man. Thank you for the call. I hope you call back some more.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I had to tell you about the tank,
All right.
man. We should have stuck with it.
I feel you, man. Well, you know, I feel you. We'll see. I mean,
I'm distraught after this win. I'm
you're
done.
distraught after a win. See, that's how Knicks fans are. We're distraught after a win.
Yeah,
all right,
because
man.
I'm 15 years of losing, man.
I hear you. All right, bro. Man. I'll talk to you later, man. Good call.
All right, man. See ya.
Appreciate it. Yeah, well, you know, as Knicks fans, guys, we got different opinions, but I'm not a tank guy. That's just me. I just don't believe in it. You know, as a player and a coach, I just can't subscribe to losing on purpose. Just not in my DNA. You know what I mean? But, you know, everyone has their own opinion. That's cool. I understand that. I'm with it. You know, but if you look at all of your top players in the NBA, they weren't all top 5 picks. You know what I mean? All of them weren't top 5 picks in the NBA. You know, that's just how it is. I just got another call in. I got Isaiah on the line, and as soon as he gets his camera together, we'll get into it a little bit. But I don't know. It's not always going to be. I don't know. I just can't get with losing on purpose. It's just not me. You know what I'm saying? It's just not part of what I'm willing to do. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, what's poppin', man? How you feeling?
Nah, man, everything's good. Blackest time. Shout out to the chat.
What's going on with you, man?
Nah, man, I need 40 minutes like him. I need like 40 minutes.
Oh, I can't do it because I'm about to be out of here in like 8 minutes. It's been 2.5 hours, but I missed the chat so much. I had to get on for a minute and be on for a while so we could talk, man, because we had to talk this thing out. We hadn't been on for a minute.
Definitely, man. It's good. It's been a while. Yeah, man. It was a good win. Definitely a good win. You know what? It was crazy, man. I understand where he's coming from because right now there's Knicks fans that are torn between winning, but also we want to lose because we all know we lose more. We have a better chance, but also everybody has to remember if we lose, the only way our draft goes up is if the other losing teams win. You know what I'm saying? And they don't plan on losing. They don't plan on winning. They actually, like a lot of them, as we all know from what Dallas Mavericks are saying, they plan on losing. So
yeah,
that's the key. That's the key that everybody has to remember. The only way we go up is we can't win, and the other teams that have already been losing start to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if we're ninth, if we keep losing and everybody else keep losing, we're gonna stay at ninth no matter what. So it's like people gotta figure that out. And then what my man was saying, I don't know if he really know basketball. I don't know, but he keep talking about top five pick. I mean, for as many stars as a top 5 pick gave you, I can name you a whole bunch of top 5 picks that have not panned out. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's like like you said, like Jahlil Okafor, even Andrew Wiggins hasn't really panned out like we all thought he would be. You got Kwame Brown, you got
Kwame Brown,
you got Michael Carter Williams, you got all these guys that were top 5 picks and not good. And it's like, yeah, you can compare Michael Porter Jr. to Kyrie because they both were injured and didn't play, but that's rare to be injured the whole year and then become a superstar. That's rare. I'm not saying Michael Porter Jr. can't do it, but it's gonna be hard because it's like you have a higher chance you have to be a superstar. You have a higher chance of being a bust. Mm-hmm. So it's like you gotta find
exactly because when you're that Greg Oden, Emmanuel see Greg Oden when you're that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick, you know what I'm saying? If you don't come out and do the things that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick is supposed to do, and I put that in quotes, then people are gonna label you a bust.
I mean, here's another perfect example. Look at the year Kevin Durant went.
Greg Oden. That's who Emmanuel sees. Greg Oden. Now, of course, he had a lot of injury problems, but you know.
Yeah, Greg Oden, Michael Beasley.
Beasley was the number 2 pick.
Yeah, and I mean, besides this year, and besides this year, and besides like one other year, maybe one other year he was with Minnesota, he was a bust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's considered a bust. Michael Beasley easily could have been a number 1 pick. It was Derrick Rose was the number 1 pick. Beasley could have been a number 1 pick, depending on who was doing the drafting. If Miami was drafting, they may have picked Beasley over Rose. Who knows? Because Beasley was considered he was going to be one of those transformational guys too.
Exactly. So it's like, again, the draft is by far one of the most complicated and the hardest things because it comes to a simple fact: we don't know what you're going to do when you come out. Mm-hmm. We really don't know.
Especially. See, back in the day, it was a little bit different, right? When you're talking about way back in, all the way up to the early to late 90s, it was a little bit different because guys were staying in college until they were juniors.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was 20 when he came out. He was 22 when he was a rookie.
Yeah, and so, guys were staying in college till they were like juniors. And so they were more NBA ready. When you come into the league now, you're 19 years old. You're either been out of high school for a year, you're one and done. If you were overseas, or if you did like Brandon Jennings or Moutier, you played overseas for a year. You know what I mean? And your body's not built. You haven't gone through 3 years of training at the college level, you know what I'm saying? Weight training and being coached. You haven't gone through all that. So you're still in development mode when you're coming into the league. So when guys come into the league, these top 5 picks that are 19 years old, you truly do not know what they're going to be yet. Because their personality hasn't developed, their character hasn't developed, their bodies haven't developed. You don't know how they're going to develop because they're still so young. You're only drafting on potential.
Exactly, because and this is to break it down even more. In our reality, these kids are high school kids, really. Yeah. They play more high school ball than they play college or overseas, and it's like that's why. And this is why I get mad at people when they talk about Frank. And it's like, bro, he's only 19. He's literally he's only 19. You got to give him time. Like, everybody talking about Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo, really, in just reality, he's just became, to me, a transcending star now. He's just becoming that.
Mm-hmm. And how long has Oladipo been in the league?
And this is his third team. This is his third team.
But how long has he been in the NBA?
He's been in the league since
4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, like 4 years, 5 years. He's like 24, 25 now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you got to give some of these guys time, and then and I'm trying to, and it's like, all right, so we're gonna be in the top 10. We're gonna be in the top 10. People got to understand, the other dude was so focused on top 5. Dude, we're in the top 10.
Yeah, top 10 is good, man.
Yo, listen,
it's still good.
This is why I say, and this is my greatest example of why draft does not matter. Look, I think 14 teams missed on Giannis Antetokounmpo. 14 teams missed on Giannis. Do you know how many? I guarantee you. Do you know how many teams kicking themselves right now?
Right. Yeah.
14 teams that are kicking themselves. Kawhi Leonard, number 15. Donovan Mitchell, 13. Draymond Green, second round. Manu Ginobili, second round. Come on, you got it.
Yeah.
It's literally hit or miss, but don't mean we don't get. If we don't get top 5, would I be mad a little bit? I like Michael Porter Jr., but we honestly don't know how good we don't know.
We don't know how it's gonna be. Like someone just said, Anthony Bennett was supposed to be a really good player.
Oh, and well, you know what's crazy with that one though? I mean, not to cut you off, but the Cavs screwed up. Everybody knew he wasn't supposed to be number 1. Everybody knew that. Cavs just they kind of screwed him over. They kind of screwed him for that one, but. I get what you're saying though. Like Anthony Bennett was number 1, and he's not even. I don't even think he's in the league right now.
I don't think he's in the league right now either. And even they drafted. I forgot what pick they drafted Deion Waiters, but he was a high pick as well.
I think Deion Waiters was number 3. I think
something like that. He was a high pick as well. I mean, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what these guys are gonna be. You're only drafting on potential. If they were a little bit older, it would make sense a little bit more. I still wouldn't subscribe to losing, but it would make sense a little bit more because you have a better idea what these guys are going to be. If these guys all were staying in the NCAA until they're juniors, now they start to weed themselves out a little bit. When you're drafting them at 19, after 1 year of college, and they come in, because you could get a guy that's killing the league, the NCAA as a freshman. He's killing it. But what you don't know is this the height of his potential? Is this all he's going to be when he gets into the NBA? Or is he going to continue to go up? Or is he going to continue to incline?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Yeah, because and I'm not saying this about Trae Young. I'm not saying I feel like, for example, like Trae Young, I've been telling people like, yo, calm down. Like, stop calling him Steph. Because Steph wasn't even Steph when he came out. You know what I'm saying? Steph wasn't Steph when he came out. But, and y'all keep saying like, oh man, this dude's going to be a transition star. Hold on. Because the whole Oklahoma offense is powered through him. It goes through him. The NBA don't like he's good for that level. We got to see him at the next level. Can he continue that? Because it's a whole different ball game when you facing grown, you 19, 20, however it is, facing grown men, and we all in the offense, they game planning for you, and they know how to trap you. They bigger than you, stronger than you. So it's like we comparing these guys, because even for example, Doug McDermott, McBuckets in college, he's one of the greatest college players ever. Look at how he came. He became a role player. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like I said, man. It's just
you just don't know.
Yeah, and also, what a lot of people got to realize is sports. You got to be drafted in the right situation.
Yep.
Because a lot of these college, a lot of these players, when they get older, they always say, if I was in the right situation, if I was like in a San Antonio or whoever, a class organization, they would have been better. Like, AKA example, the Washington Wizards, a couple years ago when they were young and wild, and it was like there was no development because they were just a young, wild team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right.
You got something like to me, Donovan Mitchell got in a perfect situation in Utah. And that's why you see him shine. He was in a perfect situation with the right coach, right environment, right culture. And that's why you see his game so good. And then if for example, like you see people like Malik Monk, we're not even talking about Malik Monk. This whole year, we ain't talking about Malik Monk. Right. He actually fell out of rotation in Charlotte because of his poor defense, his game not transitioning to the NBA. You know, it's like all these things. It just, people got to understand, like people, it's crazy. People, they see it as a fan, but you got to see it as a whole circle of a basketball that it's just not about basketball. It's about the situations, that players. It's a whole bunch that makes you become a great player.
Right.
Even a good player. Just being a good player, you gotta be right in the right situation, right coach, right people around you. It's just a lot, man. People gotta understand that about basketball and drafting. It's a lot about situation.
It's a whole lot, man, and that, you know, and so again, it goes back to, you know, having management to be able to put players around other players and manage the team, manage the salary cap and all those things, man. But Isaiah, I thank you for the call, bro.
Hey, man, thank you, man.
It's late. We've been on for 2.5 hours. I'm about to get out of here in a few minutes.
All right, man. Everybody go watch Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
All right, man. All right, peace out, bro.
Peace out, man.
Yeah, guys. So that's always a good debate. You know what I'm saying? That's always going to be a good debate. But again, there's always players. The draft is it's hard to just pinpoint and say you're going to get, just because you have the number 1 draft pick, you're going to get the best player in the draft, or because you have the number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 draft pick that you're going to get a transcendent player. It's hard to say that because you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? When you look at, you look at guys like Michael Beasley, that was supposed to be one of them transcendent guys. He's great offensively, but you didn't know what he was going to be when he got into the league. You didn't know what his personality was going to be like. You didn't know that he wasn't going to be able to do it defensively every night that you might have wanted him to do. Greg Oden, you didn't know that he was going to have the knee issues that he had. He was supposed to be the next generational center in the NBA. What you didn't know that he was going to have the issues he had. So he ended up not being that. Right? You just don't know. Sam Bowie, like somebody mentioned, was supposed to be the next guy. He had a decent career, but he wasn't number 1 pick decent. But at the time, no, I don't think anyone said to pick him over Jordan, but if he was picked in that top 3, top 4, nobody would have said anything. You know what I mean? Nobody would have said anything about it. So you just don't know. You don't know what guys are going to translate, what guys are not going to translate, especially when they're so young. Especially when they're young. So that, I think that's always going to be a big debate, and you're always going to have teams that tank to try to get players. And then, I don't know. Honestly, I think when Ben Simmons is fully a free agent, not a restricted free agent, which he probably is after his rookie contract, but a full free agent, I think he bolts and goes to LA. I think that's where he wants to be. I see him as an LA kind of guy. You know what I mean? And if that happens, then you did all that tanking for nothing. So who knows? I'm sure we're going to have this debate some more. And it's a good debate to have. You know what I mean? It's a good debate to have, but, I'm not with the tank. Not at all. Not with the tank at all. But let's finish this up. The Knicks play the Boston Celtics next. When do they play them? I think we play them. What's today? Today's Thursday. I think we play the Celtics on Saturday, 7:30 at home. Not too much to talk about with that game. I'm probably expecting to lose that game. Me, of course, I'm hoping for a win. I'm not gonna lie. I want the young guys to go out there and win. But they probably won't. And that's okay. As long as, like my man Demo B just said, tank is the wrong word. Play hard and let the chips fall where they may. I agree with that 100%. 100%. I never got a chance to answer Kevin Painter, so I will. That'll be the first thing that I talk about when we get back on. Kevin, again, thank you for the super chat. I'm not even sure if you're on, But when we get back on Saturday, I'll make sure that's the first thing that I answer. First thing that I talk about is free agents and restricted free agents. Famous, I'll make sure I get to Robert Williams. You know, I appreciate the super chat. Marty, I don't know if you're still on, but you gave a shout out to the French Unicorn, not here tonight. You said playing Frank in the fourth, we're probably 10-2. Defense wins games. I'm with you 100% on that. With you 100%. Play defense in the fourth quarter. That's the reason why he had Frank out there instead of Moutier. I'm convinced on that. You know. But big shout out to everyone. Siobhan, Jersey Shore, Shamik, Famous, Marty, Famous again, Kevin. Thank you for the super chats, man. I appreciate it. For sure. I appreciate it for sure. But to get back to this Knicks versus the Celtics, like I said, you know, I just want the guys to go out there and play hard. You know, the Celtics right now, they're souping up. They're getting ready for that playoff push. So this is a good time to play a team like them. We'll probably lose the game. I'm hoping that we win the game. You know, I don't know exactly. You know, we'll see what kind of lineups he throws out there. But it's good for these guys to get a chance to play against the Celtics, a team like the Celtics, when they're fighting for playoff position. They're making that run. They're making that playoff. They're making that playoff push. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good position for our young guys to be in right now. You know, to play against some teams that are making that push. You know what I mean? You know, let's take a quick look at the schedule for the remainder of the year. You know, we play the Celtics on Saturday. Then Monday we play the Warriors. You know, that's going to be 2 losses, most likely. But hey, you know, I want to see us get out there and fight. Make a game out of it. Fight. You know, make these guys work. Let them know we're here. And then we get a little bit of a break. Get some more practices in, right? So we play Monday. Then we have Tuesday off, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, we play Friday. We play the Clippers, who they've rebounded and got their season back. Then we play the Kings, Portland, Milwaukee, Toronto, Dallas, 76ers. You know, we got a tough, you know, I mean, it's not a super tough schedule, but Charlotte. But, you know, we play the Bulls, Miami, Timberwolves, the Wizards, Charlotte again, Philadelphia. So, look, let me tell you guys, these are all teams that we've been losing to all season long, right? So, it's not like we're going to miraculously make a run, even if we're trying to win. You know, so all you tank guys, you really don't have too much to worry about. You know, we play the Pistons, Orlando again, Miami, Milwaukee, Cleveland, and then Cleveland. So, I mean, you guys don't really have too much to worry about because we've been losing to those same teams and we're not going to end up winning against those teams right now, especially if we're playing the young guys. But it doesn't mean we don't try. That's my opinion. We still try. We put our best foot forward. And, you know, we try to win with the young guys. Put the young guys out there, tell them go for it. You know, play your best, play your hardest. But I still think it's going to be these last 22 games are going to be fun. Watching young guys and seeing what they do. You know, seeing how they develop. It's going to be fun. I was kind of looking forward to that all year. Then when we started winning, things changed a little bit. But we're back to it. Let's watch these young guys play and grow. And I'm out for the night. I'll see you guys Saturday. And peace, man. Be easy. More debating on Saturday. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button below. Ring the bell so you can be notified anytime that I'm live. Check out these videos over here. Stay updated on the New York Knicks as we watch the youth movement for the remainder of the season. Peace.